beautiful people. It's Wednesday, the 30th of October, 2024. Welcome to TDA, the day after, your favorite news platform and the home of popular culture as defined by you guys, the culture. And of course, we're hosted by the best, but the best will be here with us in spirits. It's me and Brent today, and we've got an amazing guest as well. Well, Brent, what you say, man? How are you?
Blessed and highly favored on yourself.
We thank God, man. We thank God.
All right, we're gonna just give a disclaimer on the top of the show.
Okay.
If we hear any noises at the back,
If you hear any noises, guys, it's my mini-me, female version though. And yeah, she's minding her business at the moment, but just in case she calls me. Oh, actually, she ain't got no headphones, Brent.
oh, is it? I wonder why that is.
Yeah, man.
Well, you promised to give her headphones.
No, she had your headphones yesterday. So I thought she was going to have your headphones today.
You promised to give her headphones and you didn't.
You mean as in just a minute ago?
Just a minute ago.
So why didn't you remind me, Brent?
Don't worry, I'll sort you out.
Yeah, man. So she'll be in the back. Apparently, people heard her voice yesterday.
Yeah.
So
What did they tell you?
Yeah. Someone told me. And the day before, I guess they heard her cartoons and whatnot. But man, we thank God. Hope everyone's good in the chat. Hope everyone floods into the chat and communicates with us and interacts with us as well. Like I said, we've got a good guest today, man. Clive will be back with us. You guys should remember him coming to educate us on the value in having gold in your portfolio. You know what I'm saying? So he's basically back by popular demand. A lot of you guys reached out to him and was like, yo, we want a part 2. So that's why he's here, man.
You want to make a little wager?
On.
What do you think he's going to be wearing?
He's going to be wearing a suit. He's going to be wearing... I see a blue or brown suit.
A blue or brown suit?
Yeah.
He wore a blue suit the last time.
Yes.
He strikes you as the type of guy that's very consistent with what
Yeah.
he wears, isn't it?
Yeah. And I feel like a blue suit is one of those things you need to have. And he's the type of guy that has his wardrobe sorted in terms
How many
of
blue
suits.
suits have you got?
One at the moment.
Serious?
Yeah. I used to have more blue suits, but I've got more grey now for some reason.
When did you used to wear suits? At Beale?
No. Sorry. What? That's a blazer, a school blazer.
I asked you when did you used to wear?
I used to wear suits all the time, man.
Like to wear?
Events like weddings.
All right, weddings.
Things of that nature, innit? And there's other things too. I'm trying to remember though. Certain events, yeah. I'd wear suits, but it's always good to have a suit, man.
Yeah.
100%. Always good to have it. You need a blue suit, I would say.
I guess it's because I don't get up much in it, so.
Or where you go, you don't require suits necessarily.
Yeah, I'm assuming a lot of people buy suits because they go to work and stuff, but I don't know if you've ever had a job where you had to wear suits.
Yeah, I've never had to. No. Oh, when I worked in a bank. Yeah.
You had to wear a suit?
Yeah. It was black. I think we had to wear black, yeah.
Did it have the bank logo on it? You like to wear you like to wear uniforms with logos on it?
Nah, it's not the same. It's not the same at all. But yeah, man. But I guess nowadays people just kind of wear the blazer thing, innit? And it doesn't have to match the trousers, innit? So it's a bit more casual. Still formal somewhat, but more casual too.
Yeah, Stephen looks really good in a little blazer combo.
And just, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, he takes pride in being able to say, this is what you guys need to be wearing.
There you go.
Yeah,
he's a professional.
He's got the frame for it as well. He's professional. Of course he's a professional. He's worked in corporate his entire life.
That's what I'm saying to you.
Corporate junkie.
That's what I'm saying to you.
If you were to do it all over again,
yeah,
what career path would you choose? Because I know you didn't choose your career path this time wrong, but next time wrong. If it is that you...
God chose it for me, you know what I mean?
If it is that you listen to Mummy, as in to take education seriously.
Yeah.
You didn't get farmed. No, not farmed. Shipped off.
Imagine.
To Ghana. Like, what would you have done? Having that foresight. What would you have done? What would you have chosen?
Maybe a teacher.
Of what?
Something to do with...
higher education, or is it?
Yeah, higher education. Yeah, sorry. Higher education. Yeah, because I feel like you mold the minds way earlier than that, right? Primary school and all that stuff. But I think at that pivotal stage at university and stuff, where you can actually have a real conversation with people, really mold them, really take time out, talk to them, and reason with them, and give them history and a view on life from your perspective, kind of somewhat outside of the curriculum, because it's different too. You know what I mean? Secondary school and that. I feel like you can really push people into the world to actually, push them into the world equipped to do a particular work. And I feel like that stage there is something that I would like.
Obviously, you were invited back into my life because of T&B. How would you have achieved that if you weren't invited back into my life?
I don't know where God would have taken me though. You know what I mean?
Keep
I don't
saying
know.
that it's God that's leading your life.
Yeah, 100%. The true and living, the black God.
Right, okay.
Yeah. I don't know. I can't necessarily say, but I feel like it would have been. My voice would have been used for something. That's what I'd say. It might be. Yeah, I won't say too much. But go on.
Might be what?
No, it's all right. It's not necessary.
I don't think people ever like when you do stuff like that, right? There are a couple of things. I mean, sometimes you say, "Oh, I don't want to say it," and then you keep quiet, and then we force you to basically, to say it. Mm-hmm. And then other times like, "Oh, well,
yeah," because I'm mindful
of what?
Of certain things.
But just step
I'm
2
just
seconds ahead and just
Yeah.
don't say it at all if it is you're not going to basically give it. Because for the listeners, they want to know what was troubling you or what was teasing you at that particular point in time.
Okay.
So now that I'm here, share it with the listeners. I bet you it's not even anything that you need to hold back.
Yeah, but probably not. What's the question though?
What were you going to say?
Yeah, I'm trying to remember what it was
Look at this guy.
about, innit?
I asked you what you would have been doing if it is I didn't invite you back into my life.
I don't know why you even frame it that way. But anyway.
Because I'm Brent.
Because
I'm Brent and I tell the truth.
Anyway. I don't even know why you're facing
All right, let me just tell you why it is I framed it that way.
No, it's not necessary.
Why?
Let's get to the point.
Because you're afraid that people will realize that I actually use the right words?
Afraid?
Yes.
What?
Okay, so let me tell you why I use those words.
It's just
I don't know why Izzy dropped it. Because if
because
he
it's
didn't
just
drop
unnecessary.
that, I wouldn't have been here right now. Do you understand? I'm a tinderbox. So basically, Emmanuel had a fantastic podcast called Classroom Politics that he was running. And he was running it with Andre. I can't remember what
Big up Andre.
Yeah. He's a very, very weird but funny fella.
And smart too.
And he's sharp. He's very sharp. But he's
going to come on the show one day.
He's small.
Anyway.
And he's smaller than you.
I don't even know what that means.
Hey, like he's...
Your stature.
It's like you can just pick him up. But he's sharp.
Andre, when you come here,
like dress sharp. Anyway, so Iman had big plans for that show. Anytime Iman puts his mind to things, like he plans the world. He plans for it to be uber successful, right? And dedication, production levels. Like he really, really, hammers down and tries his best. But anyway, that popped down because the host didn't see eye to eye.
Is that what happened?
Yeah? He didn't want to continue? Remember you wanted to go visual?
Is that what happened?
Did you forget?
Yeah.
All right, I'm telling you, this is what you told me.
Cool.
It may not be the truth, but this is what you told me.
Okay, cool.
Right? You wanted to basically take it up a gear. You realized that this era needed visuals.
Okay.
And you were ready.
Yeah.
But he wasn't because he feared that people would actually see who was actually saying the wild things that he was saying.
I don't think he was saying wild things, though, was he?
Oh, definitely.
Serious?
Oh, 100%. He was the controversial one on the show.
Seriously?
Yeah.
Out of the two of us?
Out of the two of y'all, yes.
Oh, wow. Okay, cool.
Yeah. And Amy Snowgobe can attest to this. She'll be able to... Because she came on, innit?
Yeah, she did.
Yeah, I don't know how that union came up. But anyway...
Big up Amy Snowglobe.
All the time. Yeah. So, off the back of that, Iman just disappeared. Like, I didn't hear from you. Because obviously, if it is you're not doing anything like music, podcast, this and next, then I'm not hearing from you. Like, at all. So you went missing for I don't know how many months.
Okay.
When did you
Oh,
talk
you're
to
asking?
me? When did you talk? It's a dialogue here.
Oh, no.
You said you forgot, so I'm
allowing
reminding you.
to, get off your...
This is what we do
your
in the morning when
diatribe.
nobody else is here. We got to make things gingered, mate.
Yeah.
Give the people what they want.
I can't remember how long it was. I was on a sabbatical, innit?
Yeah. So
Yeah, man. I had to go and reconnect with the source.
yeah, okay.
You know what I'm saying?
And then I started the new Black, and I got to a certain stage, and I was like, oh, I might need some help. But should I go on and call Emmanuel? I deliberated, but I eventually called Emmanuel and told him this is what I'm doing. I sent him the deck, and I said, hey, would you like to basically continue where it is that we left off? And he's like, yes.
You're so funny, man. I think you benefit from the fact that I'm okay with not correcting things.
You can correct. I am encouraging you to correct.
You're
Please
terrorist.
let everybody
It's
know
all right,
what
though.
I said that was wrong.
No, do you know why? It's because I'm fine with it. No.
What
It's
did
not, it's
I
not just
say
you.
that was wrong?
It's not just you. It's just in life. I'm okay with somebody, depending on what it is, of course, saying something to me and them seeing it a particular way, right? And I know it's not correct, right? And I'll be like,
And as we're
because
here,
it doesn't mean nothing.
as we're here, name one thing that wasn't correct with what I just said. One thing.
One thing, there was no deck.
So basically, I just told you about what I was doing.
Okay, cool, yeah, I guess so.
Have you ever seen a deck?
Of course, I've seen the deck.
But the thing that you wanted to let everybody know I was lying about was
it's not-
time I
no.
showed you the deck.
No, you just said name one thing.
Name
So-
another thing.
No, I'm not going
Because
to.
you have no other thing.
It's not because it's not necessary.
Name you. The first one was necessary. Name another thing.
It's not necessary.
Name another thing.
Okay, there's nothing else.
Thank
It
you
was
very
just
much.
the deck.
There was nothing else I said was wrong.
No.
I know it wasn't. Can you imagine? I thought you were going to say something major. Anyway,
What?
then
That's
obviously-
not even something I do.
Then Ima came back into my life, and just gone downhill since then. Sometimes I sit and I ponder. Yeah, sometimes I think about you when it is you're not here. What would you have done if it is I didn't give you that bird call? And that's why I asked you the question just now. What would you have done if it is I didn't invite you back into my life?
If I was meant to be here, I'll be here.
Is that what you believe?
I know.
But I made the call.
Doesn't matter.
How much do you rely on leaving it to God and you actually looking to pursue
It's just about timing.
thoughts?
It's just about timing. I think certain things is I think it's all engineered, and sometimes you're the vessel for certain things, and somebody else is. You know what I'm saying? God is outside me, but also inside of me. So it's okay for somebody else to be ushering me onto a particular boat, or me to just make my way on the boat. Either way, I'm on the boat, and I knew I was meant to get on the boat.
So you're
That's what I'm
saying you
saying.
were meant to be here
Yeah, of course.
at this time,
Otherwise, I wouldn't be here.
a bane in my existence.
Most definitely.
Wow.
Yes.
God, what have you done?
Because it's necessary.
It's necessary to basically stress me,
No.
to test
no.
me,
No,
to
no.
stretch me.
Hey, you gotta pause that.
I am not pausing. I am a grown man.
You gotta pause.
I am a grown man. You immature imbecile.
Oh,
Come
man.
on, man.
Anyway, let's get on to something that matters, right?
Oh, you think that they're not enjoying this? Let's get on to the black.
Nobody
let's forget
cares
it.
about you
Let's
just
get on to
chatting
it, let's
about
forget
this stuff,
then.
man.
Let's get on to it then.
All right.
Damn it. All right.
All right, people. So, happy Black History Month, of course. Every day this month, as you guys know, we have been bigging up some of the unsung heroes, the legendary figures within our community who have contributed in such a powerful way. Some of them you may not even know, right? But some of them you're very familiar with. And today, the black man that we want to big up is somebody by the name of Leary Nicholas Constantine, right? Baron Constantine. And he was born 21st of September 1901, and he transitioned on the 1st of July 1971. Who was he? He was a Trinidadian-born cricketer. He was a lawyer. He was a politician. This man did everything, you know.
Yeah, he did.
He was a cricketer, a lawyer, a politician, and a diplomat, right?
I'm glad that you put cricketer first.
And he was celebrated as one of the first black sports stars to achieve international fame. He was known for his skill and his sportsmanship, and Constantine was a pioneering figure in cricket and was instrumental in popularizing West Indian cricket globally. He moved to England in the 1920s to play for Nelson in the Lancashire League, becoming a prominent figure in British sports and one of the earliest black sportsmen to gain a wide public recognition in the UK. Off the field, Constantine was a committed social activist and a civil rights advocate. His experiences with racism motivated him to speak out against racial discrimination, especially within Britain. After World War II, he pursued law and became active in various roles, promoting equality and justice. And in 1943, he famously took legal action against a British hotel that refused to accommodate him based on his race, setting a significant precedent for anti-discrimination laws in the UK. Constantine later served as Trinidad and Tobago's High Commissioner to the UK, and in 1969 he became the first black peer in the House of Lords as Baron Constantine of Maraval and Nelson. Throughout his life, he remained dedicated to fighting for racial equality and social justice, influencing future generations of black athletes and activists. I said a bunch of stuff there, but why is he important? Right? Like I said, he's one of the first black international cricket stars and a legendary figure in West Indian cricket. Brent, do you feel like everyone kind of, to some degree, gets forgotten about? Because I remember when we were younger, every day you was chatting about Brian Lara. What's the other guy? There was another guy during that time.
Oh, what, as part
Ambrose. It's Ambrose.
Yeah, but he wasn't from Trinidad.
What team were they on?
No, he wasn't from Trinidad. Ambrose is not Trinidadian.
Okay,
Right?
Lara was, right?
Lara's Trinidadian.
Yeah. So I say all of that just to say, nobody's talking about them now, right?
What are you talking about? In 100% in cricket circles, they can't.
Or even today?
100%.
Okay.
The greatest? Mate, come on. And each time it is West Indies play, they, harken back to the good old days.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can't ever forget greats, man.
That's only because obviously during his time, Constantine was one of those greats.
Yes,
You know
he is.
what
He was talked about in my household.
Oh, is it?
Yes, and that's all that matters.
Okay. Right,
Don't you talk about your greats?
Yeah. But at some point in time, the next generation may not care about that stuff. They may care about their greats today. So they may only talk about Ronaldo. They may only talk about Messi, for example. They may not go back to Pele and Maradona. You know what I'm saying?
No, but they still come up in conversation when you now say who was the greatest, and when it is that you're hearing them talking, and you say, wait, have you ever heard of such and such and such and such and such?
Yeah.
That's why it's important to carry on.
That's the point of why I'm saying
man.
this. Yeah. You have to remember these people, man.
These oral traditions are needed. And if it is that you don't know it from the jump, then, well, if she doesn't know it from the jump, then when it is that she gets older and she's part of a conversation where they're talking about the greats, she can now say, have you heard of such and such?
Definitely.
If not, go and do your research.
True indeed. Well, like I was saying, he also took legal action against racial discrimination in the UK, leading to great awareness of racial injustice. He served as Trinidad and Tobago's High Commissioner and later became the first black peer in the House of Lords. And again, his life and his career as a whole helped bridge British and Caribbean communities and inspired social change. There's a couple of things that he said, right? He said, I have always believed that there's room for improvement in society and that we should never be complacent about injustice. He also said, sport has the power to unite people, but it also reveals the inequalities within society. And the last thing he said is, well, he said many things, but the last quote I'm going to give you guys is, equality must be fought for, and sometimes it takes courage to challenge the status quo. Big up the legendary Baron Constantine.
Baron.
The next person I want to big up, man. I love this woman, man. She's a legend. Her name is Olive Elaine Morris. And she was born 26th of June, 1952. And she transitioned on the 12th of July, 1979. She was young, man. And she was a British community activist and leader in the Black Power movement in the UK during the 1970s.
Come on.
You know what I'm saying? She was born in Jamaica in 1952, but she moved to the UK as a child with her family. And in her teens, Morris became politically active, and her involvement grew after a notable incident in 1969 when she was assaulted and arrested by the police. Why? Because she was defending a Nigerian diplomat who was being harassed by law enforcement. The experience fueled her commitment to anti-racism, feminism, and social justice. She co-founded the Brixton Black Women's Group and was a founding member of the Organization of Women of African and Asian Descent, both influential groups in advocating for the rights of black women in Britain at the time. Through her activism, Olive Morris focused on issues such as housing rights, police brutality, and also education. She was very vocal in the fight against oppressive housing policies affecting black and immigrant communities. And tragically, as you can tell, Olive Morris, she passed away from cancer at the age of 27 in 1969. But her legacy has continued to inspire future generations of activists. In 2009, she was honored with a commemorative plaque in Brixton, and her life has been celebrated for her contributions to social justice and civil rights in the UK. Brent, can you give her something, please? Thank you. Why is she important? Well, she's the co-founder of the Brixton Black Women's Group, and also of the Organization of Women of African and Asian Descent. She was also known for her activism against police brutality and housing discrimination. Like I said, she was commemorated with a plaque in Brixton for her contributions to civil rights in the UK. And she was also an inspirational figure in the black power and feminist movements in Britain. I'm trying to remember, there's a book that really goes into detail about her life, man. She's definitely somebody you should look into, man. She's an inspiration for real. And here's one of the things that she said: "I am black, therefore I am." And she also said, "We can't just talk about change, we have to make it happen." And she also said, "To be black and female is to live in a state of constant struggle, is what makes us strong." So big up the legendary Olive Morris and Baron Constantine. Happy Black History Month, people. Brent, let's get into our headlines.
All right, before we move on, let me just do a couple announcements. A couple of our community members have a couple events running. The first is for the men, and it is a fantastic men's health workshop. Strapline is the next installment of our men's health workshop will focus on equipping men to enhance themselves in preparation for the upcoming year. It is a fantastic lineup. You have Leon Morant, who is a juicing alchemist and triathlete. You have Basil Links, a community health advisor. Leroy Harley, mental health specialist. Will George, mindfulness coach. And obviously the lovely Belinda Lati. She is a nutritional therapist. We're going to get her on the couch very, very soon. And benefit from the wealth of knowledge that she has between her ears. I think I have a flyer. Oops, that's not it. That is not it. Bang. Here we go. Stronger than before. An opportunity for men to learn about life enhancements from health specialists. Equipping you with the tools to be a better version of yourself. I'm going to put the link in the description and also in the comments. And please check it out. It's 24th of November from 2 to 6. Very, very enriching. Next up is... Bang. Our very own Gin and Gist is having a fantastic event where Darryl Blake will be the main focus. And I hear from a little birdie that he's going to, for the first time ever, walk through his journey and finding out about his properly in depth. So you don't want to miss that. It's on the 5th of November. And it starts from 6 p.m. and it ends at 9:30. It's going to be amazing. It's going to be at the African Center. So, please, the link is in the Discord, and I'm also going to put the link in the thing. I've just seen the link. I'm going to put the link in the chat and in the description and first comments. I think I'm going to check this one out. Hey, Manuel, I think I'm going to.
Yeah, go to this one.
Yeah. Because I want to hear this. Because he always does fantastic presentations.
Oh, 100%.
I want to see how it is that he presents this one. Because it's very, very personal to him, isn't it?
100%. We got a glimpse of it. Remember?
Yeah. And that's
on
what
the
I
tour.
yeah.
Yeah, it's gonna be powerful, man.
Yeah, a little time. I just imagine how he would then present it. So definitely gonna check this out.
Yep, 100%.
All right, on to our headlines.
All right, people. So our first headline: the Chancellor will on Wednesday today vow to reject austerity and rebuild Britain in Labour's first budget in 15 years. Rachel Reeves is expected to say the only way to drive economic growth is to invest, as she becomes the first woman ever to lay out the nation's finances. Fixing the NHS and bringing down hospital waiting lists is at the heart of the spending review. This is what the Chancellor is expected to say. There will also be cash for more affordable homes and investment to rebuild schools. But it will come at a price, and Ms Reeves will outline how she expects the government to make billions of pounds in savings, including on its benefits bill. Employees will not face higher taxes in their pay slips, and those on minimum wage will get a salary boost of up to £2,500 a year. But businesses are braced for an increase in national insurance as the government seeks to plug a £22 billion black hole in the public finances. So, by the way, in fact, after this headline, we're going to go into People's Journal quickly. But obviously, we're not going to get into the crux of the budget because the budget will only be revealed to the people at about 12:30 today. But here's some of the tax changes that might be in the budget, right? Just speculation. Capital gains tax, there might be a potential increase in rates. National insurance contributions, there could be a potential rise from employers from 13.8% to 15.8%. Income tax and NI thresholds, they're likely, the freeze basically on those thresholds are likely to be extended until 2029. Inheritance tax as well, there might be potential changes to exemptions. Pension taxation, potential changes to tax-free lump sums and tax relief systems. The non-tax status as well. Labour may end concessions, but there might be concerns about revenue impact. Fuel duty, potential rise in line with inflation, reversing the previous cut. So again, we don't fully know yet, but we'll see what happens. The next headline is about TikTok's founder, Zhang Yiming, who has become China's richest man with a fortune of over $50 billion. $50 billion. This is dubbed the shortest video king. Dubbed the short video king, the 41-year-old topped the Huron China rich list for the first time with $49.3 billion. Mr. Yiming stepped down as the chief executive of ByteDance, which is TikTok's parent company, in 2021, and he's the 18th individual to be crowned China's richest person in the 26 years since this particular rich list began. A number of billionaires on the list saw their fortunes plummet over the past year with some difficult economic conditions in China. This comes during a legal battle over ByteDance's US assets at TikTok, potentially being banned in the US next year unless its parent company goes through a sale amid accusations that it's giving data to the Chinese government. This is obviously something that denies, and we spoke about this on the show a couple of times. The FBI has warned that ByteDance could share user data such as browsing history, location, and biometric identifiers with China's authoritarian government, which is obviously something that they're fully against. This is the reason why the entire everyone that works in the White House basically is banned from having TikTok. TikTok has said that it's never done that and will never do so, even if they were asked by the Chinese government. But obviously, America don't want to take that risk. Despite the battle, ByteDance's global revenue grew 30% last year, and Mr. Yiming still has a stake in TikTok, which is helping propel his personal fortune. China's economy has undergone a difficult year and has continued to lag in the aftermath of COVID with a real estate crisis and a volatile stock market. The next headline, and France's President Emmanuel Macron has told Morocco's parliament that he believes Western Sahara should be under Moroccan sovereignty and has pledged to invest French money there. The territory, which was once a Spanish colony, is mostly controlled by Morocco and partly by the Algerian-backed Polisario Front, which seeks independence from the Sahrawi people. France joined Spain, the US, and Israel in backing Morocco's plan for Western Sahara. Algeria, they're viewing Morocco's presence as illegal. They've withdrew its ambassador to Paris in response to this, right? Relations between Morocco and Algeria have become especially tense in recent years, with Algiers announcing in 2021 that it had severed diplomatic ties with its neighbor to the west. Algeria has expressed its deep disapproval, saying that France is denying Sahrawi people their right to self-determination. The Polisario Front condemned France's support for what it calls Morocco's violent and illegal occupation. And a UN brokered truce in 1991, promised a referendum on independence, but obviously this is yet to occur due to disagreements. And that's it for our headlines. What's this? All right, big up Lauren. She said she's got another new event that she needs to share with us as well. Wasn't the New Black the name of Iman's rap group? All right, Izzy's done his research.
It's your rap group?
Yeah, of course it was.
Mental.
It's all of us, isn't it?
Can you imagine?
Yeah.
They're talking about the stuff that isn't true, but that's what you didn't want to clarify just now until it is I probed you.
No, but I know what he means. And everyone... Anyway. Yes, for those who don't know, that was our group, innit? Me, Mo, and Brent producing.
Disgusting.
We spoke about this on the show before. Remember when David came here as well?
All right.
David was producing as well. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? So yeah.
All right.
Do your Googles, people.
Let's move on to what you saying topic of
Nope.
the day.
You
was journal.
There you go. All right, people, welcome to the People's Journal, where I give you the news from an economics point of view. This is something that happened the other day, I mentioned the other day, I think on Monday. And this is basically about Keir Starmer announcing that the single bus fare cap in England will be raised to £3 in the upcoming budget. So again, more of the budget, we're going to find out after 12:30. So obviously we'll deep dive into it tomorrow, hopefully. And yeah, basically this particular bus cap is an increase, bus fare cap, pardon me, is an increase on the current limit of £2, which was introduced under the Tories. This was to help with the cost of living, but it's been increased now. So the existing cap was due to expire at the end of December anyway. But yeah, the new £3 cap will be covering most journeys in England. It's going to be running until the end of 2025. So the entirety of 2025, basically, that new bus fare cap will be £3. Quoting Sir Keir Starmer himself, he said, "I do not know how much this matters, particularly in rural areas where there's a heavy reliance on buses." But basically about almost 3.5 million people in the UK, or in England anyway, specifically use buses. There's been speculation in recent days that the Chancellor would announce in the budget on Wednesday that the current cap will be scrapped, right? This would have meant that some passengers would have faced like a steep hike in fares following the 2 years of help from the Tories to kind of keep it below that £2. Yeah, so single bus fares, for those who don't know, in London, with TfL anyway, are going to be remaining at £1.75. And then if you live in Manchester or Greater Manchester, it's going to be at £2, right? So they are excluded from the border fare cap because the funding that goes into those particular areas is structured differently. So you won't be necessarily affected. But and this is why Keir Starmer basically said, I'm not too sure about how much this will actually matter. But still, the cap has been removed. It's gone to £3 for the entirety of 2025. What's up?
Good move?
I don't know. I don't know if it matters, like Keir Starmer said. But no. But actually, to be honest with you, I really don't know. I'll need to see the rest of the budget, to be fair. But all it sounds like to me is potentially people have to pay more for travel. That's it. You know what I'm saying? And you're going to the same place. So why would that be a good thing to pay more? You know what I'm saying? You're increasing our taxes and we have to pay more for more things. So you hit twice. Why is this a good thing?
If Conservatives won, would they need to raise taxes anyway to get out of the predicament that they got us in?
I think it depends on the economists. I couldn't say for sure. I don't necessarily think you have to raise taxes. I think you can lower taxes and boost the ground in which businesses basically are built upon. Make it fertile for a potential business owner. You know what I'm saying? And then you have a bit more competition, and hopefully some of the prices will drop, or at least remain where they are.
Wasn't Sunak saying that, yep, there are tough times ahead. You're going to be belt buckled for a little while. Hold on.
Yeah. But he was also saying we're going to reduce certain taxes as well. Remember, that's what Jeremy Hunt was saying as well, to basically incentivize businesses to actually create stuff. You know what I'm saying? Because without businesses, every economy is done. Governments don't have money. They just have your money. That's all they have. And so for them to do certain things, they just take more of your money or they borrow. Same difference. So the more government increases taxes, the more they borrow, the more they spend on foolishness. It's all coming out of your pockets. There's no such thing as a free lunch. You pay for it.
Yeah, all of these T-shirt slogans. I think so far, Care is following what the Conservatives would have done.
No.
So they wouldn't have raised taxes, you're saying?
If they would have, it may not be to this degree. But again...
How can you be so certain? I'm confused.
I'm only basing it on what Sunak was saying during the budget.
Because for the entire time they've been in power, that's what they've been doing, no?
What, raising taxes?
Yeah.
No.
Or they've been lowering it?
No, they haven't been lowering it. But they haven't.
It's been the same this level?
No, they've obviously manipulated certain things, but they've also tried to incentivize things, like I'm saying. So, for example...
Stop going to the incentivization.
No, it's part
I think every government is going to do that.
It depends on how you do it, and depends on how you're... Because you can incentivize certain things by investing money, or you can allow the private industry to take care of it. It's two different things.
Didn't
and this is why she
that?
keeps...
Didn't Labour run on saying that they're going to basically increase...
Yeah.
Yeah, so...
Increase what? Taxes?
No, the businesses.
Yeah, by investing. So remember, look at for example, they wanted to do GB Energy, something like that. So they want to privatize certain parts of the energy sector. That's going to require a lot of money. Now, long term, it may be a good decision because you don't really want to be depending on Russia. You don't want to be dependent on other countries, you know what I'm saying, to do certain things. But it's just an example of...
And why did they have to change the way they approached the energy crisis?
Because we saw what happened when Russia had the situation with Ukraine. It affected us directly.
How did that happen?
What do you mean, how?
How did that happen?
What was in place?
Yeah, how did it happen?
I believe it was under Cameron. Was it under Cameron? I think it might have been... no. I think Cameron wanted to change it and remove the reliance on Russia. And somebody else came in after. It might have been Boris. Somebody. And they basically changed that. And that's basically why we found ourselves in that mess.
Okay. All right.
Yeah. I think it was under Cameron. I think so. Because I believe there was a time where our reliance went down to it's on its way down to 0%. I think. I don't want to get it wrong. But yeah, somebody came in and...
So Labour's thinking long term?
I mean, in this particular area, yeah.
Sustainability?
Yeah, in this particular area, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
But long term, to higher taxes never is a good thing long term. Never.
Yeah, I don't know why you would say that that's what's going to be happening.
What, higher taxes?
No, long term. That's what you're saying now. You're asking for us to speak on hypothetical at this point, and then you're lambasting him. You're slapping him.
It's not because it's
for
because
something you just made up.
It's because it's a left wing policy. It's just every left wing government around the world believes in increasing taxes and increasing in the welfare and increasing
I don't
public.
I think you remember you saying that Keir Starmer is literally just like Sunak.
No, but he's not just like Sunak. He's not an economist. Sunak is an economist.
I'm not talking about literally.
No, I know, but it's important to make it clear because Keir Starmer, as much as you may say he's like the Tories, he's not a right winger. You know what I'm saying? Like, you might say he's left centrist, left centre, whatever it may be.
Sunak is right wing?
He's more, of course he is. He's a Tory. He's more right wing than
No, I didn't say
Starmer.
more right wing, but you said he's right wing.
Yeah, he's not far right, but he's right wing. Of course he is.
Okay.
Of course, almost every Tory is a right. They're on the right. Okay. You might be more to the centre. You may still believe it, which Sunak
but
does.
You didn't specify. You just said right wing, so I only went right.
Okay, but don't go far. Like he's still because if you're conservative government,
Starmer left.
Yes, he's a left winger.
But I would specify he's more.
That's what I'm saying to you. So you may have Corbyn who's left. Corbyn's not,
and these details matter.
Okay,
because
cool.
Corbyn is also left, and you would never place them in the same flipping.
Exactly. Let me specify. Corbyn is left. He's not far.
Corbyn's not far left. Interesting. So who is the far left?
No, I don't know. Like, is Corbyn? If he had his way, would he be a communist?
He said he wanted to scrap uni fees.
Yeah,
have free Wi-Fi.
That's bona fide socialism, but it doesn't necessarily mean he's a communist. So,
that's how you basically
define it. Like you, there's more extremes the further you go in it. So, but anyway, all I'm trying to say is he's left, but he's not. Starmer's not as left as Corbyn, right? Then you get to the centre. You also got Blair. Blair is left, but he's not a left like that. He's more of a centrist left. You know what I'm saying? Similar to Sunak is more of a right centre. You know what I'm saying? So these guys still would believe in intervention. You know what I'm saying? Government intervention. A real right winger who believes in free markets and all that bona fide capitalism doesn't believe in those type of things. And this is why I've said many times in the show, like, this isn't capitalism. If it was capitalism, you would know. This isn't bona fide capitalism. This is a lot of government intervention. A lot. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like that's pretty much the reason why someone like yourself and other people would say these guys are kind of the same, because they kind of operate where this is the center and this is the right and the left, but it's a circle around it. So they kind of just move around in that circle where sometimes they do things in the right, sometimes they do certain things in the left, but it's around that area in the center.
In my head, Labour's been forced to basically make moves that they wouldn't traditionally want to take because of the hole in which it is that was dug for them.
Why do you think that?
Why do I think that?
Yes.
Because of the mess that we're in.
No.
One has to basically what?
No, go back. You said, in my head, I don't think Labour would do what they would, what they naturally would do, basically. If not for this £22 billion black hole.
I'm just not looking at the 22 billion. This 22 billion is not just a one-shop thing for the mess that we're in. I think it's more than that. And in order to basically reverse it or to even stop the decline, you need to do some of the things that Sunak was looking to do before you start implementing the things that you really want to do. You have to heal before you basically build.
Okay. You got to do some healing, of course. It's just everyone's got different approaches. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of like when Busai was here and we were talking about the Hayek approach or the Keynes approach. You know what I mean? Like, it depends on your economic school of thought. And so, I just feel like most people, especially in this country.
Did you know that Basayo actually helped sculpt the policy for the black curriculum?
No, I didn't.
Yeah, I spoke to her yesterday, and I did not know that.
Amazing.
I just didn't.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy, man. That's my view on these little muppets in government. All right.
Yeah, but that's basically that particular situation. But yeah, what was I saying? I was basically just talking about the bus caps, isn't it? Mm-hmm. Well, next thing I wanted to mention is this. I don't know if this is relevant to a lot of people out there, but Starbucks, they're dropping their much hyped range of olive oil infused coffees in the US and Canada. So if you guys are going over there and you've heard about how good it is, from early November they're going to be out of stock. And then that announcement comes after the new boss, Brian Nichol, right, promised to shake up their menu. There's something else that came out, I think, a couple of weeks ago, but I didn't mention it. I didn't feel it was that relevant, to be fair. But basically, they're trying to win back customers, long story short. Everyone's losing money. Their sales have tumbled. And you know what I mean? Everyone's thinking about the cost of living. That's pretty much rampant throughout the West, throughout the world, to be fair. And so, they're just trying to switch certain things up, innit? And see what they can do to bring customers back to Starbucks. Do you go to Starbucks, Ben?
I have never drunk a coffee in my life.
Oh, so, yeah, but
I have tasted the coffee, but I've not gone to purchase coffee as pastime.
Okay.
So I don't even know. Have I think I might have bought a coffee for Tolly.
Okay.
I think I went into Costa.
All right then.
Yeah, so no, I haven't gone into Starbucks.
I'm more of a
What is it
Costa
like?
person.
Huh?
I'm more of a Costa person.
What's the better coffee?
I'm not a connoisseur like that at all.
So when you say you're a Costa person, like you buy sandwiches in there.
No, I get the drinks. But
What drinks like what?
I might get coffee. Black coffee, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, the only difference really is because they have a reward system. That's the only reason. Just scan the something, and after 10 coffees or whatever, you get a free one. So you know what I mean? Economics.
Yeah.
But all the same. However, I was reprimanded the other day by my good brother in the Muslim Brotherhood, Mr. Ramsey. He said, "Hey, you're funding Palestine. Sorry, the genocide in Palestine." I said, "Seriously? What,
going to
Costa?
Starbucks?
Going to Costa?" I said, "Seriously?" Like, "Yeah, man." I said, "Okay, wow. Okay, no more Costa for me, man."
Are you sure it's Costa? I thought it was
That's what he
Starbucks.
told me. Both. That's exactly what I said
Are
to him.
both of them?
That's exactly what I said to him.
All right.
He's like, "No, it's both."
You really have a monopoly on coffee, innit?
I mean, yeah, boy. Yeah.
Has he given you a list of things that you can't do?
No. Every
Just
now
so
and
that you
again, it
can do
might
it and
just
take
come up.
pictures and send it to him.
It might just come up. So the other day, well, not the other day, some time ago, I bought some hummus from Tesco, innit? Discounted. So it tastes good, innit? So I'm thinking, I ain't paying no £2.75 for this hummus tub. But when I seen it on sale, I said, hey, this is something I could invest in. So I was like, yo, because I remember him mentioning the particular hummus as well, that he liked it, So then I was like, yo, look what I've seen, just randomly. And I'm taking a picture of it. I was like, yo, He's like, oh man, I don't even buy that no more. I said, why? He said, because it's made in Israel.
All right, so what you're telling me, in order to frustrate him, I can go on the internet and find out what foods have ties to Israel and just send it to him and say goodnight.
I mean, it'll frustrate him more if it was in your house. So you have to buy it first. Take a picture in your fridge.
Okay, so I should basically stock the ledge up with stuff that is from Israel.
I mean,
That's funded by Israel.
I mean, you have a very explosive episode that day.
Serious?
If you stuck it up, yeah. Hummus, Costa cups, Starbucks cups, McDonald's in there. Yeah, you're good to go, man. I mean, I think he will appreciate that. He'll have a man in the match moment that day. But yes, more economics. Like I was saying to you guys, Rachel Reeves, the Chancellor, the first woman Chancellor of the country, she's got her budget today. So she's going to be delivering this budget at 12:30. It lasts about an hour, guys. If you guys are interested, you can watch it live. BBC iPlayer, BBC News, website, whatever you want to do. And yeah, she's going to be chatting about it, man. And basically, the current leader of the opposition, who's Rishi Sunak, obviously, we're still waiting for who the new leader will be. Would it be Robert Jenrick? Would it be Kemi Badenoch?
Is that how you pronounce her name?
Guys, you said that. I corrected myself. Why? Because I heard in an interview say, there's no bad in Badenoch. So basically, there's no bad in Badenoch. So then she basically trying to sell to the people. Remember that slogan. There's no bad in Badenoch.
She's trying to basically...
Exactly. So it's Badenoch.
In.
But she was talking about the history of it. She said her husband was basically a husband, pardon
Who's
me.
her husband?
Some white guy from Scotland. He's mixed. He's UK guy, but he's mix of Scotland, England, and I believe she said Austrian. So his family go back. The Badenochs go back to Scotland, but the man's a Londoner. I don't know how he got in there, but
Austria.
they find him. Okay, hold on one sec. What's that? Austria. Might be,
Badenoch?
I wouldn't. No, but Badenoch is Scottish heritage. So in Scotland, they're actually called Badenochs. But basically, there was something. I think his family wanted to make that distinction when they moved to England, something like that, and so they changed it to Badenoch. But really going back, we would be right by calling her Badenoch. So, but she's obviously respecting what her family is, isn't it? She's married into them, and they call it Badenoch. So she's a Badenoch. That's basically what it is. Brent, can you remind the people about that amazing Black History event with Blacklisted, please?
Okay, so we have a fantastic event on the, let's see, it's on the 5th of November. What happened? You're not going to see her, just keep to the right, isn't it? Yeah. 5th of November at the South Africa Center. And it is with our resident professor, our resident learned, esteemed gentleman, Dara Blake. And Gin and Gist is going to be, I think she's going to be hosting him. She's a fantastic host, by the way. Fantastic host. Anyway, outside of this particular event, she normally runs a book club. It's a fantastic evening out. It's a fantastic pastime, reading books and that. Yeah, so someone needs to come on the Discord and keep me company. This is why I need a different crew. I need reliable individuals who aren't married, who don't have children, who care about production value and that. But here we are. I'm looking forward to getting into the Christian Welsh fella who unalived. It's so interesting how that particular term came into the English language. Unalived, those 3 innocent young girls. And the furore that has come just yesterday off the back of it. Oh, fantastic. We've got somebody in the chat. The Discord. Good morning.
Morning.
All right. Come and tell us all about this fantastic event.
Wait, I can't even hear. I don't know how to use this Discord thing.
1 2 1 2 1 2. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
But it's not like loud.
I don't know what to do. Turn the volume up over there, innit? 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2. To be honest, you don't really need to hear me. You could just talk about your event, innit?
Sure. So, guys, hello. Good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
This event is Blacklisted Book Club's way of celebrating Black History Month.
Come on.
Which is in October, but the theme this year is reclaiming narrative. So we celebrate Black history all year round.
All year round. Come on.
And it's just a really amazing opportunity to listen to Daryl's story and give him more of a, even though he doesn't need my platform, but to give him a platform to speak about the work he does and his journey with discovering his Nigerian ancestry. And I'm sure everybody knows by now in the comments that Nigerian is like my most favorite thing in the world.
Why is that?
Why?
Yeah.
Why not? I'm Nigerian, he's Nigerian, everybody's
I thought
Nigerian.
you were Congolese.
Ew. Sorry, I didn't mean
Wow-wee.
I didn't mean ew. I love Congolese.
Wow-wee. Wow.
No, I'm joking.
What an advert for your event.
I want everybody to come. Nigerian, Ghanaian, Congolese, Sudanese. I'm just joking. But it's gonna be cool. There'll be drinks.
Alcoholic and non-alcoholic. Vegan friendly? What we saying?
Vegan friendly, perhaps not. There might be some veggie options.
Veggie options? God damn it.
I say food. I feel like there'll be something to eat, but there's definitely going to be drinks because it's my event. But yeah, so it's just a good time, good vibes, good people, good conversation, really interactive. Daryl's gonna speak, but there's also going to be the opportunity for everybody to engage.
All right.
And yeah.
I've been to one of your events before. It is a bundle of fun.
Yes.
Yeah. And you really kind of turn up.
We do.
No, not y'all. You really turn up. Like you're present and you're hosty and whatnot. Yeah.
Thank you.
Because I used to think that you were a little standoffish, a little intimidating. But yeah, man, you make people feel warm and welcome, man.
Really? Wait, you used to think I was intimidating?
Nah, I'm just doing it for the chat, to be honest. I don't know why I said what I said, but you should have clocked on and just continued with it.
No, yeah. One thing, especially about this particular event, is that I just like to do things that bring community together. And so when I do these events, I know I'm always like, oh guys, it's another event, but I'm really going to keep doing these events until the community feels like a community and until we continue to show up for each other and all of that kind of stuff. I think it's just a fantastic opportunity to actually live our raps and to support each other and show that we can get together and have discourse and do things that impact us as a community. And also, I'm really a big believer in just getting that knowledge and getting that information. So there will come a point where none of us can say like, oh, we didn't know this, because we've been talking about it. And so I'm looking forward to it. I see some people have already bought their tickets. I'm assuming it's from the community. I haven't checked yet, but thank you so much. I appreciate you all.
You're welcome. And it's definitely from the community, definitely. Because when you say Dara Blick, them tickets fly.
Yeah, literally. I put them up. Usually I like to, have at least a month before, have I gone off this? Oh, no, I don't know. But anyway, usually I like to put up an event and promote it for about a month. But I put it up yesterday and the tickets are already flying.
All right then. Like I said, when you mentioned Dara Blake and you mentioned Blacklisted Book Club, and tickets to the
absolutely
do the most. That's good. All right. Thank you very much for your contribution, Ginengis. You've been an absolute lifesaver, and you seem to turn up to all the events in this particular space, in the scene. Like you really live your raps, innit?
I really be liking the people in the community.
Yeah, you really live your raps.
Thank you.
Yeah, we're gonna find you a nice handsome Congolese man. I think I saw something in the Discord. Somebody was promoting a Yoruba event. I think it was not a meet and greet, a date night. Was it?
Yeah, I think it's like a speed dating or something, or like a date night. But
yeah, because when I saw it, I'm like, whoa, this might be good.
I think it's going to be really good. The people that do that event, they do really good events.
Oh, serious? What are they called?
Interactive, engaging.
What are they called? So, put you on a spot there.
I think it's Yorubaism.
Yorubaism.
Yeah, I think that's how you pronounce it. They do some amazing events.
Ah, got it. Visit site. All right, here we go. For all the Yorubas in the building. Ooh, Yoruba singles ready to mingle. All right, then.
As well.
Saturday the 9th of November, 5:30 to 9. Is that enough time for a Yoruba to meet another Yoruba and fall in love? Emmanuel?
Oh, you must not know about us.
Oh, y'all...
Have you ever known us to be slow? Quick.
You're on site, yeah?
Yes.
All right, but it's an age limit
Iman,
here.
he knows.
Ask Iman. Why should I ask Emmanuel?
Because I'm Yoruba to the core.
Yeah.
That's it.
All right. Ages 26 to 36 we have here.
All right then.
All right, it excludes a lot of people. But hey, some people are known for ginger in their birth certificate and that. So I guess you can be 42 and still say you're 36.
That's true,
please, if it is your Yoruba, if you identify as a Yoruba, if you just want to be a Yoruba for the night.
No.
No?
This is strictly no. Them other coaches there, identify what the hell you want to do.
But this,
we take Yoruba serious.
Darrell Blake has traced his ancestry, so he
Yes.
knows it's in his blood. And
All right,
can
then.
you dilute Yoruba blood?
Well, Darrell's traced it to Igbo. It's not Yoruba. But if it
damn
was,
Then
he'll
come
be
true.
invited.
There you go.
Yes.
So go to ancestry.com, get sorted out, bring your papers.
We need proof.
Wait, does it specifically say it's only for Yorubas?
That's
Or
all
is
it says.
What about if you,
Hey, it's in
What
the
about if you
name.
wanna-
Yoruba singles,
no,
ready
but
to
what
mingle.
about if you want to date Yoruba?
For what?
Oh, you're saying that if we want to bag a Yoruba, then we'll find them congregating in this place.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm
Let me
asking.
see. Join us for an exciting evening at the Yoruba Singles Ready to Mingle Night, a unique event designed to bring together Yoruba individuals who are seeking meaningful connections, and relationships. Hosted by the Yoruba Singles Forum in collaboration with Yorubasm. I said that wrong. Yorubaism.
There you go.
Yorubaism. This event aims to create a supportive and engaging community for Yoruba individuals looking to meet new people and make meaningful connections. This event is strictly for those between the ages of 26 and 36, taking place on Saturday the 9th of November from 5:30 to 9. The evening will be filled with fun, games, great food and drinks, all set in a relaxed and friendly atmosphere. There'll be plenty of opportunities to mingle and engage with other as well as exploring, I'm guessing it means others, as well as exploring modern challenges faced by Yoruba singles. Ooh. Lovely. The Yoruba Singles Forum is offering a night full of laughter, conversation, and memorable moments. Whether you're looking to meet someone special, simply enjoy a night of great company, they promise great company, or just have a great time. A lot of greats here. This event is for you. Please note that the event will start promptly at 5:30. Do you believe them?
Yeah, 100%.
So do
100%.
plan to arrive on time to make the most of this fun-filled evening. We look forward to seeing you. I wonder if it is I could turn up. Because they said here, it said here, if you just want to have a great time.
Hey.
But I'm at 36, I'm 45. God damn it, disqualified. All right, this will have to miss me. Will you be there, Gin and Gist?
I'm like, at this moment, I'm like 85% certain.
All right then. So you're single and looking to mingle?
Single, ready to mingle.
Right then. Right then. The best place to basically find your mate. All right. Imagine I'm still
Also,
flipping
E-Man, can you stop shushing my baby girl, please? I feel like
Can we get
she's
back to the
better
news?
behaved than some of the hosts on there.
You ready, Manuel?
I am indeed. Still got some people's journal.
Yeah, I know. Thank you very much, Gin and Gist. You want to stay for the People's Journal?
No,
as well.
I've got enough of that to do at work, to be fair.
Thank you very much.
All right,
Yes,
bye.
appreciate
All
you.
right, later.
You're welcome. See ya.
All right, people. So, like I was saying to you guys, the budget will be out to 12:30, or at least you'll be talking about it from 12:30 today. You can watch it on BBC iPlayer or BBC on the website. And yeah, we'll see what the government has in store for us, man. Yesterday, I did kind of say to you that the Telegraph kind of believes that the working person, I don't say the working man, but the working person probably will have to pay about £400 or more in taxes going forward. But again, that's just speculation, and so we will see and get more confirmation later. The next thing I did want to mention is the Chancellor has confirmed ahead of the budget. So this is something that we kind of know already. And this is that minimum wages will rise in April. So with hourly rates for the over 21 set to go up to £12.21 an hour. So that's that's pretty much already been confirmed. She said that the pay boost marked a significant step towards achieving Labour's promise of a genuine living wage for workers. Employees aged 18 to 20 and apprentices will also see that their minimum hourly pay will also increase as well. And the government said that more than 3 million workers will therefore benefit because of this. But firms, obviously, they've warned that the higher costs could mean that they have to cut back on hiring. And this is another thing that people don't seem to get for some reason. It's like, you have to understand that, again, I said this yesterday, anything you do over here will affect what happens over there. There's no such thing as a free lunch. Someone is paying for it somewhere. And if you want to increase the minimum wage, I'm not saying you shouldn't. I'm just saying understand the consequence of it, potential consequences, because you can't always know what the implications will be. But just know that if you're going to increase the minimum wage and force people to pay their staff more, there potentially will be less hiring. You know what I'm saying? Or potentially people could lose their jobs as well. So yeah, that's just something to consider. But like I said, the minimum wage for the over 21s, again, I'm probably going to go into this tomorrow when we get the full budget, which is known as the national living wage, is going to be rising by 6.7% from £11.44 up to £12.21. That's going to be from April of next year. This year, however, it's going to it increased to £11.44 an hour from £10.42. So that's basically the trajectory of it. For the 18 to 20-year-olds, the minimum wage will rise from £8.60 to £10. And in April this year, that rate increased from £7.49. So I'm just giving you a bit of context as well. Apprentices as well, they're going to get the biggest pay bump. That's going to be from £6.40 to £7.55 an hour. And prior to this year as well, it was £5.28. So that's where it went up from £5.28 to £6.40. And then again, we're going to see an increase in April to £7.55. And that is pretty much it for the People's Journal. So like I said, guys, make sure you come prepared to take in the information tomorrow and Friday. If I don't get, obviously I'll tell you about certain changes tomorrow, but Friday I'll probably go into it a bit deeper as well and let you guys know what's good. But yeah, that's it for the People's Journal. Let's get into more headlines.
Man was being stupid.
Okay. All right, people. So our next set of headlines, Chinese spacecraft with a 3-person crew, including the first female space engineer, has docked after a 6-hour journey. So the crew will stay on the homegrown space station for 6 months to conduct experiments and spacewalks. Beijing aims to gather experience for a moon mission by 2030. And the launch of the Shenzhou 19 declared a complete success and is one of 100 launches planned this year. The BBC had a rare access to the launch center. And so if you're interested, you can actually go to the BBC and see certain things. The Shenzhou 19 crew met with the Shenzhou 18 astronauts who are going to be returning to Earth on the 4th of November, which is a special day. All right, so President Xi Jinping declared the ambition to make China a space power 2 years ago. That's chief.
Sorry, baby, Mario. So can you just repeat what you said, young man?
Oh, myself?
Yes.
Oh, if they're up there. I mean, there's so much evidence NASA releasing videos, and I've got to be careful what I say, that have indicated there may be some form of wires holding them up, and it's not really... Yeah, it just looks a little bit dodgy. And then obviously, is it Stan Kubrick, the famous director, before he passed?
Yeah, Stanley Kubrick.
He stated that he did make the moon landing movie on set.
Serious?
Yes, so some say. And it kind of makes sense because at the time it was a rush between the US and Russia trying to get space race, trying to get to the moon first. And even when you look at the moon, some of the videos, it's just the way in which the flags sit, the lighting doesn't make sense, some of the shadowing. So yeah, it's sorry, I didn't mean to land on that one, conspiracy, but we've all got to be kind of keep our eyes open because a lot of money's going to NASA as well, a lot of taxpayers' funds, and it's like, well, what's it really being spent on? And then we can go into talk about what NASA, NASA, compare. Some say it's connected to Nazi, and well, that's a whole nother rabbit hole.
Can I ask where you get all your information from?
I just read a lot. I study, you know. I'm very open-minded. It's about what it is. The secret is...
You look very dapper today, by the way.
Oh, thank you,
We had a
brother.
little wager before you came in. I asked Emmanuel, what do you think he's going to be rocking? And he said he's going to wear a suit and it's going to be either blue or brown.
Oh,
right?
wow. You nearly got it right.
You nearly got it right, but it's a completely different look.
Yeah.
All right, then.
Thanks, brother. I really appreciate that. So, no, what it is, someone famous once said is you take in all the information, but you believe nothing. And I think when I was on the show last, because we have a very tight compliance department, I think with some of the comments that I made, I must always make it clear it's for entertainment.
So hold up, let me just put this disclaimer up.
Yeah, it's for entertainment purposes, my own personal opinion, and that not that of my company. You know, I
sorry, Claire. Let this just read it so
Yes, please
it
do.
sinks in, and then I will take it off, and then we can continue. I'll put it up. When you start talking about goal again, I'll put it back up so nobody thinks that your company is liable for anything that you say. All right, then. So, the moon landing, do you think that they even have been to space?
I think we've been in space, but whether we've landed on the moon is another story. I know my knowledge isn't, too up there when it comes to the history, but I know there has been a number of countries which have landed, so they say, and I mean, look, this is all hearsay. What I do believe is that the so-called moon landing, the US moon landing, was fake due to some of the evidence and some of the stuff Stan Kubrick has stated, and again, just some of the basic stuff we've seen from that video, and it kind of makes sense. I think after September the 11th, I just became very awake.
All right.
And some of the evidence coming up there in regards to basic physics and how it collapses, and it just made me so awake. And since then, I've just been so open-minded. And as I say, I study. I'm a bit of a nerd, and we must know our knowledge.
Yeah. So when you go to like parties, events, and whatnot, and you're not talking about gold, is this what you're spending time talking about?
To be honest, I do find that there's a little crowd around me, and we're talking about multiple subjects. I mean, a lot of people are fascinated in gold. When you tell them that you're a commodity consultant, they are very fascinated about wow, gold. Is it in your pockets? We don't walk around with it. We don't even have it in the office. It's held in a vault. But funnily enough, I actually sent you a coin, which I think you have, that you can show the public today. Which I could actually. I'll see if I can grab it before we forget.
So you think you've sent me something?
Yeah, I think so. You got it down here. It arrived. So let me just show you. So I did mention. So look here. To just give the listeners an idea of what pure gold looks like.
Oh, so it arrived in the bag that you just brought in. All right. Okay, cool.
So I mean, if the listeners, I don't know. If
all right,
we
then.
can zoom up on one of the cameras. But literally, this is what we specialize in: is 1 ounce gold coins, which are legal tender. And I've only obviously wanted to show people for the show, but when you go to parties or whatever, everyone's always fascinated on buying gold. I mean, a sister once said to me, I always say this and I shouldn't, but she said, I thought gold was for rich white people. Now, although a majority of my clients are Caucasian.
Hold on, I think they're not hearing what you're saying. Let me just adjust your mic.
Okay.
Let me just adjust your mic. Let's see. Test.
1 2 1 2.
That's probably still not working. Hold up.
I didn't catch any of it.
I don't know. Let me see. Let me see. Talk.
Yeah, 1 2 1 2.
Yeah, didn't catch any of that. Hold up.
Check mic. C to the I to the Z to the E.
Try now.
1 2 1 2.
Lovely. All right. Well, Maybe a good thing that you didn't hear any of that. Except with the gold stuff again.
Yeah, we were just talking about how fascinating gold is. And I think previous to that, we were talking about NASA and so forth. First of all, it's a pleasure to be here. And I just wanted to say, obviously, I made some quite interesting comments when we spoke last time in regards to the state of the FSCS and in regards to, if the money's there that can pay you out, if there's any banking issues. And as we got there as a disclaimer, just to let the public know that on the previous show and today's show, it is my personal opinion for entertainment purposes and not the opinion of my company. And one must realize that gold can go down as well as up, and past performance is no indication of future performance. Although when I was on the show last, I did tell everyone to buy gold, and it's gone to the moon since. And the war is escalated as predicted, and the economy has got ever worse. Fill your boots. And thanks for having me again. It's a pleasure to be here.
Yeah, you're always welcome.
It's very early for a show.
It's not.
Are people actually awake at this time?
Yes, it's... What?
I'm only joking. I'm joking. Yes, I'm fully aware. We all work.
All right.
I get out early for some sister start switching on me. How dare you? Remember, I'm a big supporter of our community. This is exactly why I'm here.
All right, then.
But I love to crack a joke, as we know from the last show.
Yes, as we know. Was it Diddy?
Diddy? Oh, what? Colliding bum cheeks.
Colliding bum cheeks, yes.
Colliding bum cheeks.
That's the one. Hello, Emmanuel.
Yes.
Are you back?
I'm back, man.
Let's get into topic of the day.
Well, I did have a couple more headlines.
All right, cool.
Two things quickly. Trigger warning on this one, guys. Axel Rudakubana, who's 18 years old. Remember the guy that was involved in the Southport attack? He's already been charged with 3 counts of murder and 10 counts of attempted murder following the mass stabbing at the Taylor Swift-themed dance workshop in July. He now faces 2 further charges related to evidence that was obtained by police following searches of his home after the attack. So one charge is the production of a biological toxin, namely ricin, which is contrary to Section 1 of the Biological Weapons Act 1974. He also faces a terror charge of possession of information likely to be useful to a person committing or preparing an act of terrorism, contrary to Section 58 of the Terrorism Act 2000. Right? This
is madness. I want to speak.
Well, this particular document, is a PDF file which was entitled "Military Studies in the Jihad Against the Tyrants: The Al Qaeda Training Manual." So this was in his possession, right? And ricin as well was also confirmed to have been found at his home. For those who don't know, the 3 girls who died in the Southport attack were named 6-year-old BB King, 7-year-old Elsie Dot Stancombe, and 9-year-old Alistair Silva Aguirre. And 8 other children were stabbed as well in that attack, sadly, man. But those were the 3 that passed away. 5 of them were left in critical condition.
It's crazy. I mean, first of all, blessings to the families of the lost girls. I've got 3 girls myself. I think God was trying to teach me a lesson. I love them dearly. And, it was a very, very upsetting story. For me, and even speaking to some of my clients, it did seem a little bit orchestrated in the fact that, even the previous riots all seemed to be a little bit programmed. They knew it was coming. And I feel like, and many believe that it was, the original riots were to see how far it goes, how far the violence will go, how quickly it will spread, and it seemed out of control for some time. But this riots is a little bit different, and this is why we're a big advocate of getting out of the system, because these riots are more about black versus white. It's about the traditional British versus Muslims in this case. And it caused a number of problems. And the front pages clearly was there to create some form of stir. Because for me, the Black Lives Matter movement was about creating a divide. It's to remind people we're different colour, somewhat different. We're not. We're all the same people. We all bleed the same. And I think a lot of these things that have been put out there is to orchestrate and to separate us. Because let's not forget, this country is collapsing. We've got the record most highest level of debt GDP. We've got homeless levels at record levels. We've got people living in Park Lane now. They've had to section it up with 10-foot black walls. I could go on and on. Crime is going through the roof. And the papers, their headlines were, "Black immigrant killed 3 white girls."
Yeah.
Now, once the papers post that, what do you think is going to happen? And this is exactly what happened. We had, a lot of British traditionally outside mosques screaming, "Baby killer." And he wasn't some immigrant. It was a load of nonsense. This guy was born over here. You can see his pictures. He actually doesn't even look like the type of guy that could do that. So I'm just saying that it doesn't add up to me. And a lot of my clients were like, "Clive, this doesn't add up. There's some funny stuff going on here." So I thought I'd just add that in there.
But let's just say it did add up, though, yeah. And this black, young 18-year-old black guy
that went to school over here,
Yeah.
had a good schooling, seemed to be a happy child,
Yeah.
didn't suffer for any mental problems, but all of a sudden he decided to go and stab little girls.
I mean, I mean, obviously it could be whatever, innit? But I'm just saying, let's just say it is the case, right?
Yeah.
And they framed it in this particular way to say this black boy has killed 3 white kids, right? Isn't that a good reason to have an organization like Black Lives Matter to kind of say, see, this is the way they do things to cause division?
Yes and no, but if you look at Black Lives Matter, the original supporters were a group. You can see it at the bottom of the website.
Yeah.
I think it was Blue something, which is part of the Clinton party. And that's another rabbit hole. So it's not even like our people movement. A lot of the people that originally started Black Lives Matter, they disappeared with a lot of the money over in some of the US states and went and bought big houses and cars. Yeah. So, what was that all about? It's
but people would like to separate the movement from the actual organization, though. You know what I'm saying? Because obviously, yes, it's a charity. And like you said, some people were doing their own shenanigans behind the scenes. We've seen someone buy a mansion, say it's for Black Lives Matter work.
Yeah.
But really, it's just a mansion, people enjoying life, right? But the actual meaning behind it, though.
It should be all lives matter.
Yeah, but Black Lives Matter have been forgotten. Black lives have been forgotten about. We've been disproportionately affected by certain things, right?
Let's not get it clear to the listeners, because obviously I'm a man of fairly lighter colour and of mixed heritage. Yeah. And I'm in a massive black movement, and I'm here to educate our people and all the rest of it. But I think all lives matter, and I think the movement, particularly when I found out it was set up by the Clintons, and it was set up by some of the elites, and it wasn't really a movement that was set up from our people, from our own heart. I just like, and the history of the Clintons, we have to go into detail. It's crazy. They're all behind Obama, behind the Harris movement, and this is a movement pushing for war as we speak and funding war. So yeah, there's some. Is that a movement you want to support when you look at the behind it? But yes, obviously we need to get recognised for what's happened. Yeah. To us. Even myself, growing up in a white-collared world, I had to work twice as hard to get to where I am today. This is it. I went to school in Eltham. I was the only black guy in my class. Wow. But anyway, which was interesting. But my mum sent me to the school because back in the 90s, it was the white schools that were better educated, because I originally from Peckham. And yeah, we have had it hard, and it needs to get recognised, but I just don't think in that way and the way it was funded.
Okay, I hear it. Makes sense.
I mean, I hope this situation with the kid wasn't orchestrated. Yeah. Well, I say I hope, because that's even more scarier. The whole incident is very, concerning. Are you also going to cover the part, please, about this British pilot? About the US pilot and Harrods and the 9-year-old girl?
You don't want to tell us.
Yeah, you might need to tell us.
Oh, you need to bring this one up. Oh my God, this is crazy. I'm so sorry for coming on and just doing this. And by the way, just so the listeners know who I am, my name's Clive Lindsay. I'm one of London's leading gold experts. I've come onto the show to highlight the importance of having gold in your portfolio as local currencies collapse. And gold is about to go to the moon as we're going back to a gold standard. And if anyone wants to call me, I'll just give my details now. It's 0800 368 9145. And that's 0800 368 9145. And we'll post it up on screen as well. And it's Solomon Global. Again, we'll post that up on screen. Just reach out. I've got my assistant West in the office taking calls. We are with the new black. If you could just mention them, we're going to be giving discounts to all the listeners. Nice. We had quite a few call-ins from before, people interested in buying gold. So For those that heard me last time and didn't pay attention or buy gold, it's jumped another probably 10% since then, which is the equivalent of getting 3-4 times that from a bank in a year. And yeah, quite a good time. Now, as somebody that has 4 kids, three beautiful girls as well and 1 boy, I read a story in the Daily Mail. It was actually at the front page, which was good that it was highlighted, and it is one of the most shocking stories in recent time to indicate about we have a 2-tier type of criminal system. You know, it's one rule for one, another rule for another. 2-tier care, I think they say. As we know, the BBC recently, I can't remember his name, one of the famous presenters had been let off for having pornographic images of kids, and his excuse was, I didn't get to go to Oxford and I had a bad upbringing, and he's been let off scot-free. What's his name again?
Hugh Edwards.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah. So yesterday, which brother's probably bringing it up now, there's a US Army pilot who... And again, please correct me to get this story right. But he was in Harrods shopping, and he saw her, realized there was a girl standing by herself, a 9-year-old French girl, and he could see that she'd been separated from the family. So he decided to escort her out of Harrods to his hotel. And then from the hotel, I think he walked the streets for a while, so-called looking for the police. And then somehow, I think, bumped into a police officer. And there's a story up there. Now, when he did approach the police officer and say, look, you know, here's the girl that I found how many hours later, you know, and handed her in, they did test on her. And then she had some drugs in her system. I can't remember the name of the drug. It's a sleeping drug. It makes you numb. And the evidence is that she stated he had given me a drink. She can't speak English. And she said it's bit, as in trying to say it's bitter. And he said in his defense, and this is crazy, I can't believe he's just walked free. He said that when he saw the girl, he was concerned about her. So he decided to take her out of the store, walk all the way to his hotel, bring her up into his hotel room, while he went onto the internet to look for a local police station or fire station, and then something to do with going to a museum. I think he said he wanted to take her to a museum, and then he said it was raining, so he couldn't go out. And then, and that's really the whole story, and he's just been set free because in their view, there's no evidence. This is so shocking. I mean, clearly this is a kidnapping charge at least, because I think there was 3 charges of kidnap, sexual abuse and stuff. And it's just, I have to obviously talk about this because I'm in the shop sometimes and I get sidetracked, and sometimes the girls will walk away and it just takes 2 seconds. And if it's a prestige shop as well, you know, and he's literally just walked out with her and he's just got away scot-free. And she's found that in his system. I mean, it's sickening. Brothers, don't you think? It's just madness. Is it just me? This is
no, 100%. It's crazy.
That's crazy.
I just saying it, that it's so crazy that I'm thinking there must be something else.
No, what it is, I mean, we all know, right? Yeah. Number one, is this guy connected?
Okay.
This is a US Army guy. Unfortunately, we know that we're very much up the US backside. When they sneeze, we catch a cold. So, yeah. Some are saying, you know, is there a connection here? Because he's just got away scot-free. And I just wanted to share that. It's one of the most shocking stories I've read this year. I just can't believe it.
Yeah.
And we don't want to talk about what he obviously did. It's clear what he did. He's obviously drugged her, done whatever. I think they've searched a hotel room. He's washed all the cups and stuff, so they couldn't find the drug. But how did it get into her system? And it's just a mad world. And this is someone meant to be respected in society. I mean, he looks like so-called a normal guy. I mean, what does a normal guy look like? These guys just walk past you. And I know you've got a girl as well, right? Yeah, how many kids you got?
One.
Okay. So, yeah, it's probably just as shocking to you as it is me.
100%.
Can I ask what a terrorist looks like? You made a comment a bit earlier saying that the 18-year-old guy from Wales didn't look like a terrorist.
Yeah, that's a good point, actually, because I've got to be careful what I say, and thanks for putting me in it, brother.
No,
it's a good point. I better retract that.
This is what I'm saying.
He just looked, he had a very, what's the word? Holistic look in his picture. You know, not saying that anyone could do those type of things, but just on some of the things that I'm speaking to the public about, it just didn't make sense how someone could switch like that. And then, you know, they went to the house and they find these chemicals, and then they found this book. Remember, with September the 11th, you know, all of a sudden the passports of the terrorists were found in the rubble, untouched kind of thing, with little scratches on them. I mean, do you know what I mean? It just, if you know your history, you've just got to think twice. I mean, I just said to the brother, a very clever man once said, it's important that you take in everything, but you believe nothing. And also someone else said it's about being a guard of your mind. Yeah. You know, you have to be able to, you know, take in certain stuff and be a free thinker. And that's what's helped me and my company, you know, give the best advice and help people through these tragic times.
Right. Well, we're definitely going to get into more of that.
So sorry to jump on subject, but that's quite major. And it's important that we did, because all the parents, you guys just need to keep a double out, keep an eye out for the kids.
Yeah, 100%. 100%. Yeah, we're going to get into God and everything related to it, yeah. Just the last headline. The Chicago mayor, Brandon Johnson, is now under pressure to return a $150,000 campaign donation from the Grammy-winning rapper Lil Durk, right? Who, as you guys know, Esther mentioned it in Word and Road, that he faces federal charges of orchestrating a murder for hire attempt. So in August 2022, Lil Durk allegedly financed an attempt to kill his rival rapper Quando Rondo in LA. Obviously, Quando Rondo survived, but his cousin was killed in the attack. So now questions are mounting over the mayor's decision to basically keep the donation. Right?
So when did he make this donation?
It
Just
was
during this event.
I'm not too sure.
Or a time ago, in anticipation, in case he gets in trouble.
I think it was after the alleged murder.
After the event, yeah. Okay, so it's come out. And is this a black mayor?
To be honest with you, I don't know, but I think he is.
Yeah. I mean, we clearly know what's happening there. It was interesting because Trump let out a Kodak Black, didn't he?
Yep.
You know, which was interesting. For me, the Little Durk situation, I mean, I'm a big fan of hip hop. I try not to listen to it too much now because of the dark, what's the word, darkness around it, whether it's the beats or the language. But I'm a big fan of hip hop. And I am surprised with Little Durk.
Does the darkness draw you in?
Sorry?
Does the darkness draw you in?
It does sometimes, you know, and it's hard for us to wake up a little bit. So, yeah, it does have the ability to do that.
The senses and that.
Yeah.
It like locks up the third eye.
Yeah, exactly, brother. You know, and the pineal gland and all that sort of stuff is affected. So back to Little Durk. I mean, I'm not a big fan of Chicago rappers. I did like, what's his name? The one that passed away recently. Bloody hell, I can't, and I'm saying I'm a big fan. Anyway, I'm surprised, one, he's still alive, because we know what Chicago's like, and a lot of the rappers have. King Vaughn.
King Vaughn.
He's one of my.
Sorry. Did you say Tupac is still alive?
No.
Okay.
No. So King Vaughn, I just like the way it's the storytelling, but again, it's all violence orientated, and you live by the gun, and you know, and this is what we saw again with that Chris guy in Streatham. Unfortunately, it's a prime example. He lived by the gun, not justifying what the police done. They didn't need to shoot him. Anyway, sidetracked once again. Going back to Durk. So one, I'm surprised he's alive, and two, he hasn't been arrested as yet. And yeah, we have seen a lot of people sort of pay in the back doors in order to get away with certain things. So that's interesting. I didn't know he did that.
Yeah. And you know, obviously, he was King Vaughn's guy as well, isn't it?
Yeah, they were good friends.
Exactly.
But I think some say King Vaughan, he had a ghostwriter, but he did learn to write afterwards. But Durk, I just think he's a bit overrated. I've heard him rap. I don't think he's the hottest rapper. There's nothing stood out for me when I've heard his stuff.
Okay.
Who's on your top three?
Biggie. That's a hard question. I like Eminem. I think he's very talented. Three, if I were to choose someone a little bit not so famous, I say someone like Cassidy.
Okay.
I love the way he spits. I think he's one of the best spitters out there. But I've literally got a huge list. Obi Trice as well. I think these guys are hugely talented. There's so many artists I love. I mean, a big fan of Pun as well from back in the day.
Yeah,
She was still alive. And who else? Yeah, that's it really.
And how about contemporary?
Well, I do listen to other genres. So I like some rock music, like System of a Down. I think they're pretty cool. What else? Florence Nightingale. She's got a sick voice. UB40. I've been rocking some of that lately, because the old stuff's the best. So yeah, and there's some conscious rappers I like as well. But it's early in the morning. Don't hit me up. I'm rubbish with names and albums and stuff.
Cool. I actually just meant the modern ones, to be honest.
The modern ones.
Yeah, because you mentioned names like throwback names, but
yeah, the modern ones. There's not a lot. Oh, okay. So I would say Travis Scott.
okay.
I love his production. New rappers. Let me just let's have a quick look at what I'm listening to now. There's a lot. I mean, I haven't even mentioned any British rappers. So Bugsy,
All right.
Malone, I think he's very, very talented. Who else? British rappers, but a lot of them some of them again, it's just all violence that they're talking about.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, so I don't want to big them up too much. The Alchemist, that's the old stuff. Big fan of a lot of his work. Gigs, yeah.
You seem to gravitate towards a lot of violent music.
No, that's what I'm saying. It sucks you in. It sucks you in. I'm just having a look here on my phone. I mean, I've got like one common track to give you an example. Dave, I think, is hugely talented. UK rapper. And again, he's not so much on the violent stuff. He's more, again, talking about very important points. Oh, and someone I met at a party, what's his name? Bashi.
Okay.
Bashi is one of the most talented individuals in this country. I mean, have you seen his Amazon? He had an Amazon series, acting, unbelievable. And I had the pleasure of meeting him at my his brother-in-law's party. Really nice guy. And he just released the album. And there's a song called "Why Black Men Don't Smile" or something similar. And nearly had tears in my eyes. One of the best albums out there right now. Big up Bashi. And yeah, it's powerful stuff for our people.
All right. Only other thing I wanted to add was the mayor. He was asked about why he hasn't returned the money, right? And he said
because he spent it.
Oh well, this is
he's already ordered his yacht and his 24s.
Well, he stated that doing so would equate to prematurely passing judgment on a black man before a full trial has actually come to fruition. However, critics argue that returning the donation wouldn't imply Lil Durk's guilt, but would merely distance the mayor's office from the controversy.
How much was it?
Where is it? 150,000.
Is that it? What, he thinks he can get away with just donating? And this guy's probably got a couple of mil he could spend. That's peanuts money. That's like not even half a day's campaigning you can spend with that sort of money. That's like one day's worth of Instagram floods.
The mayor isn't really going to have any influence, to be fair. This is the feds. The feds are trying to get a little bit. So
unfortunately, if the mayor's highly connected with the local police and some of the governors and the judges within that region, we all know how that works. Yeah.
Well, that's it for the headlines, man. It's time to pay them bills. And Brent, let's get into our topic of the day.
Bye.
All right, people. So, as promised, topic of the day will be about gold, and we've got an amazing guest. You guys can already tell, Mr. Clive Lindsay. Thank you for coming again.
No, thank you for having me, brother. It's a pleasure to be here.
Yeah, man. Like you said before, like you coming back was basically by popular demand. You know what I'm saying? That people wanted to hear more about gold, hence them calling up your office. You know what I'm saying? I wanted to know more, and I just want to obviously give you the opportunity to talk about it. And I'm obviously going to ask you certain questions as well.
Yeah.
That kind of popped up. I remember you mentioning earlier, though.
You're not going to hit me with those 5 questions again.
No. No.
How did I mess up the Brazil one? I'm so embarrassed. Capital Brazil. Shame on me, man.
No, today's
I beat myself up for days on that. I told you I have a brain fart when you hit me so hard.
No, today's going to be solely about your expertise.
Okay,
you know what I'm saying about gold.
All right, cool.
But you mentioned earlier about we're going to be returning to a gold standard.
Yes.
What do you mean by that, though? Are we really going to be return to the gold standard in the way it was?
Well, it's funny because last time I was on the show, I was predicting that we would probably go on the gold standard. And since then, the BRICS have had their meeting have given a clear indication that gold is going to play an integral part in our future financial system. And partly this is why I'm here to talk about BRICS, because this is major. This is exactly why we need to buy gold.
So can you tell people what BRICS is, please?
Yeah, Brazil, Russia, India, China, South Africa.
Yeah. And now they expanded a bit more now, isn't it?
Yeah, that's right. That's right. So
UAE, they've got Iran, I believe.
That's correct. That's correct. Now, before we go into BRICS, why don't we take 2 steps back and explain what I do, if you don't mind. So I am the head consultant for a company called Solomon Global. We're London's leading gold experts. We're multi-award winning. We've won 4 years in a row, most trusted retailer. And we just won Best Retailer of the Year 2024. And we just got, there's an investor show, O2, tomorrow or Friday. And we just got presented with award as well as nominated for one of the best I think I can't even remember, best retailer maybe. So a lot of awards. We have 5-star rated service as well. We have the highest rated service in the country, and we just use FIFO. Don't trust anyone that's on Trustpilot, even though it's called Trustpilot, because anyone can leave a review. We're based in Bromley. Our job is to hold the hand of individuals and guide them on the best gold to buy, the best gold to sell, and become their knight in gold armor. All the gold is delivered to clients free insured delivery, or they can hold it in storage. And we've delivered about £60 million worth of gold successfully, and a lot towards the black community I'm quite proud of, which we're all making money because the gold prices jump up about 30% alone this year. What else? I mean, myself, I'll be holding the hand of individuals that come on, and I'm highly experienced in many subjects, as we all know. And I am a bit of a nerd for multiple subjects, from uranium to blockchain to current topics. But I also 30 years nearly in commodities. Okay. And I'm an ex-stockbroker, 7 years. I used to work in New York and London, and I study every day apart from the weekends, because knowledge is key and knowledge is wealth. And that's what allows me to do these type of shows and guide a lot of people and protect a lot of people's wealth. So in a nutshell, I provide an opportunity where people have their own bank in the palm of their hand. Okay, because we're in a world where there's an increased level of surveillance and control. It's imperative that we're off the system and off the radar. Okay. But
why is it though?
Why? Because of the control and surveillance that we have. I mean, we're going into a digital type currency, which could be a fiat type system where they're going to monitor everything we do real time. So it's important that you have independence out of that. And because gold is tax free as well, it's not about just being off the system. It's tax free. It's one of the biggest secrets out there. It allows you to keep your wealth. Whereas if you pass down, let's say, a house, when you die, they take half of it, in inheritance tax, although the government has never mowed the lawn. They've never maintained the house. They didn't help you pay for a mortgage. They didn't help you fix the roof. But all of a sudden, they want half the money when you pass it down. Well, you can get away. There's ways you can get around that with gold. And I'm telling everyone on the last show, which was how long ago?
Couple months
ago. I mean, house prices have gone up 0.3% or something. Gold's up 10%. I did say housing market's going to possibly have its biggest crash in history. So that's what I do in a nutshell. Is I advise people on to buy gold. Minimum investments start from around 3K. Although if you got 1 or 2K and you really want to get involved, I try and help you. But typically try and get 3K together, because that gets you a good 1 ounce of gold. And we would talk about strategies. But anyone that has an ISA, we're outperforming ISAs 8-1 at the moment. So if you had an ISA going back 10 years today, and you put 10 grand in 10 years ago, it'd be worth like 19K today, roughly. But if you was in gold, it's worth nearly like 80 grand. To give you an idea. Pensions are collapsing, and premium bonds are not paying out. They're one of the biggest so-called, how shall I word it? The word premium sounds special. The word bond, you think you're protected. It's all, it's basically a lottery. Your average payout's 0.8% on 100 grand. With 2 premium bonds, 0.8. I mean, inflation's nearly at 10-20%. You're losing money hand over fist. But it's one of those kind of things where psychologically it fools people because your mum and your nan who typically buy these type of things, they get the check every other week, and it's like 150 quid, 50 quid here, and they're like, yeah, I'm winning, it's doing well. But you calculate those checks and it's like 1% of your money back, you know.
So then would you then say, obviously I don't want to put no words in your mouth, but would you basically say that pensions are overrated?
Well, in a booming market, they're great because they will expose you to the economy, and you know. But when we're about to face the biggest collapse in history, I mean, even Andrew Bailey said that it's going to be the worst recession in 300 years. So it's important that you have gold in your portfolio as a hedge, but also it's the ultimate tool to bulletproof your future wealth. Okay. I'm on the Black British Parent this weekend. I'm one of the advisors on the panel. Sick. Up in Brixton, and we've got a show, and that's really important movement, you know, like the New Black, what we're doing here. And the Black British Parent, for me, the movement's about educating our people about passing down, you know, our true wealth to our youngers, you know, the next generation, which my dad probably couldn't do because he's got 20 kids being Jamaican. And, you know, unfortunately, my mum, you know, I'm looking to buy a house or an apartment soon. So, you know, we've never been able to have that luxury. So it's important for particularly black generations that we can pass it down because we're still at the bottom of the pile when it comes to our overall wealth in comparison to our counterparts. Okay.
So there's a couple of things you mentioned there, and this is one of the questions I did want to ask you. I want you
and
to
then we'll do the bricks after.
Yeah.
Cool.
There's two ways I kind of see gold, right? I do want to ask you this question though, and I want you to answer like, but then obviously I do want you to go into why both of them things. So why both of them are like important.
Have I just been jacked?
No,
no, I'm just looking.
I don't think he was here when it is that you were showing.
Showing the gold coin. Yeah, bring it up in front of the camera. Be careful when you hold. Don't hold it.
Why
like
has he done that? Oh my gosh!
Don't put it. Don't put it back. Yeah, just hold it from the edge. Yeah, because basically, with pure gold, when you touch the surface, you damage it.
Okay.
Because all of our fingers have oil.
Okay.
And it's that's it basically. But luckily, it's my demo coin. But just be careful with pure gold. Yeah. So, and that's an example of 24 karat gold, which is tax free.
So how much is this in terms of weight?
Right now, that's £2,200. Imagine for that little thing. That's why it's so portable and so easy to store. You know, you got $2,000 in between your fingers. So to hold $100,000, you can in the palm of your hand. Whereas with cash, you know, you need a little bag for $100,000.
So this is an ounce.
Yes, that's a 1 troy ounce. So gold is measured in troy ounces.
Okay.
So it's a little bit different to your standard ounce on road. It's 31.1. I thought I'd drop that in there. Yeah. 30.1 grams or so.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, the question I was going to ask you is, obviously, you've spoken about this before, and you can hear it anyway if you're in those kind of circles, that, like you said, gold is an amazing investment, but it's also insurance, right? If you were trying to, which one is it more of, though? If you had to choose one thing.
I'd say more of an insurance policy.
Okay.
I'll tell you why, because it's always held its value over time, whereas the pound is just, and the dollar's lost 98%. I don't know if I gave the example when I was on the show last of like when you go to America.
Yes.
Back in the day, did I give that example?
I'm not too sure.
How strong the pound is. Well, let me give that example, and I'll give the bread analogy as well. So back in the day, if we look at the 1980s, £1 note, right? Or you boys might be a bit older. You might have shillings or.
Yeah, I lived when there were shillings.
Was it? Wow, you are older than me, even though you got baby face.
Thank you, bro.
So back in the day, say 1 shilling or £1 note in the 80s or 70s when it was around could have bought you like 5 loaves of bread. Yeah. And that could give to your neighbor. You could, you know, put it in the fridge, whatever. That's going to last you months. Now today, a pound coin can't even buy you a loaf. You know, so the pound has just lost its value throughout time. So if you're sitting in the pound in your bank, what you don't realize, and this is done kind of stealthily, excuse me, is that you're just losing money every day.
100%.
And that's why a lot of people at the end of the month, they're sitting in their kitchen and they're going through their bills and they're like, where the hell has all my money gone? I've worked my ass off. I've hardly spent anything. I haven't treated myself. But where's it all gone? And they feel like this every month. And the reason being is because they haven't been able to buy gold to protect their wealth.
But is that the reason?
Well, one of the main reasons, because if they're sitting on cash and just earning sterling, all sterling's done is because the more we print, the more it dilutes. Yeah. It's the same theory as if you imagine, have I given a glass of orange juice scenario?
Think so. No.
So if you imagine a giant pint glass, right? And I wanted to feed, 10 people, or let's just say 100 people, feed, or should I say, they're all thirsty. I want to give them a glass of orange juice. And I've got this big pint, right? Yeah. And it's an empty pint glass. Now, let's just say I put a little bit of orange juice in some dilute, yeah? And then I'm adding water, right? And then I want to, make sure everybody has a drink. Well, as you guys get more thirstier, the more water I pour in there, is the less orange juice that you're going to get, because it becomes diluted. And that's the same theory with, printing money. The more we print, and there will be a time where I'll get, it'll be a stage where I'll give you the orange juice. You won't even be able to taste it. Yeah, because it'll be 0.0001% juice.
But they'll still call it orange juice.
Yeah, exactly. We won't go into how orange juice in cartons isn't orange juice, by the way. It's just water with added stuff. So yeah, I just wanted to explain that as well. And in regards to, was there any other questions?
Yeah, it was just more so about, it's more so insurance. But for those people who say to themselves, okay, cool, I would rather put my 10K into buying a car or putting it into a down payment for a property. Why should I insure myself when really nothing's going to happen? Because people have been saying things are going to happen for 100 years. Yeah. But nothing's going to happen. I need that 10K. Yeah. Why should I put it into gold?
Well, one, if you're going to buy a car, it's a depreciating asset, number one. And unfortunately, we all love our cars and stuff. And why should you get involved in gold? Well, gold always goes up when we have sort of hyperinflationary periods. And the last time we had sort of inflation like this was in the 70s. Yeah. And gold went up 2,400%. And you got to realize that, as Mark Twain says, history doesn't repeat itself, but it rhymes. Or as Churchill says, the further you look back into the past, you can predict the future. So, why put it in the bank and get 3-4% if you're lucky? Why buy a car that's appreciating asset when you can buy gold and possibly make 10-20 times your money, plus it's never going to go to zero? Excuse me. Yeah, it's never gone to zero. That's why I do this. That's why I've been selling gold and I run this huge network, because I can always hold my head up, because I'm never going to lose my people money. Whereas if you look at other schemes such as FX schemes and crypto schemes and trading platforms, you can lose all your money and more.
Okay, you said two things there, right? I'm going to come to the crypto in a minute, but you said gold will never go to zero. Does it matter that it doesn't go to zero? Because if I buy it today, let's just say £10, right? And it goes down to £7.
Yeah.
I'm still like in the red.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. It hasn't gone to zero. It's still less than what I bought.
No, but it's nice to know that it's always going to have value. And throughout thousands of years, it's always had value. It's never been worthless. It's never gone to zero. Yeah. Whereas your pension, you can lose all your pension. You have your money in BlackRock in the last recession, it will go to zero. Yeah. You had your money in Credit Suisse the other day. A lot of people lost a lot of, some lost all their money. Is even with Metro situation, nearly went bust last year. Some Colombians to come and bail them out. If that didn't happen, there was a possibility your account will go to zero. And talking about zeros, Bank of America, they had a glitch the other day. Thousands of people's their accounts saw zero. They couldn't touch their money for a day. And we're going to see more and more disruption again. That's why it's important to get out the system in an asset class, which traditionally always goes up in wars and recessions, and has never gone to zero. It's the biggest secret. That's why it's been taken out of our curriculum. That's why when you go into a bank, they won't tell you, oh, you buy, they put it into an ISA, but they won't tell you, hold on, when you put it into the ISA, that money we're going to leverage and then we're going to go and buy gold.
100%. Yeah.
Because all the central banks are buying gold.
But then someone may say, but they know how to handle that responsibility of buying gold and selling at the right times. Yeah. I'm just a normal layman. I don't know how to go in and out of the market. Of course, they can come to Sullivan Gold. Yeah. Right? But how does the average person stay apprised of all of these sort of things?
Yeah, I mean, look, it's not complicated. Okay. I mean, the fact is, gold always goes up in wars, bar one, I think, always goes up with inflation. She's never actually not gone down with an inflationary period. But remember, we're going back to a gold standard. And we're not saying to day trade it. This isn't some complex investment. People overcomplicate it sometimes. what people need to realize is gold is the most simplistic investment out there. So in a nutshell, this is how it works, right? Let's just say I were to look after you.
Yeah.
You give me your money via debit card, credit card, or bank transfer.
Cool.
I send you the gold.
Yes.
You put it under your mattress. Yeah. You put it under your mattress.
Yep.
We wait for it to go up.
Yeah.
And then we sell it.
Cool.
And that's it. There's no management fees. There's no subscription fees. There's no profit splits. There's no hidden fees.
Yeah.
This is why we get the best reviews. It is the most simplistic thing out there. And you'll find once a client actually gets their own wealth in the palm of their hand, which they never had for 30, 40, 50 years of their life, they fall in love with it.
Changes, yeah.
You know, I look after my dad, look after my mum. You know, can I buy 10 times as much? You know, so, you know, we do see that time and time again as well.
Okay, so in that sense, I guess, 'cause obviously it makes sense to kind of go between investment and insurance, right? So, but in that sense, that would be a good investment because obviously I bought this and 10 years time it's gone up.
Yeah.
I come back to you, I sell it and I make
Yeah.
extra money. But in terms of the insurance thing, do you kind of, obviously you're not trying to preach doom and gloom, right?
Yeah.
But do you kind of see
I am a little bit.
Yeah. Okay,
Because
cool.
it's true and people need to get their head out the sand of what's about to come.
Okay. So in terms of what's about to come, do you see a world where, like, how bad do you see things? And how soon?
Let me break it down of how bad it is.
Okay.
So, in regards to unrealized losses in the GFC, which was the Great Financial Crisis, and they called it the GFC because it was the Great Financial Crisis, the worst we've ever seen.
Yeah.
We had unrealized losses of around 75 billion. Yeah, that's how bad it was. Today, we've got unrealized losses of about 900 billion.
Yeah.
So all we're doing is that we're shoving the poo under the carpet or kicking the can down the road. Now, we know there's only so much poo you can put under the carpet before it starts seeking out the side. And every road has an end when it comes to kicking a can. So it's important to get prepared now.
Yeah.
But many have been saying, yeah, the stock market's going to collapse 5-10 years ago. You know, currencies are going to collapse. You're right. They have been saying that for a while. And I think the government, due to printing excessive amounts of money, has been able to keep the economy up so the politicians can look good and, you know, stay in power. And if you want to make, in my view, some easy money, I mean, we've got the election in how many days? They're going to be pushing for more war and hopefully some form of martial, I can't remember the term, but it means that Biden can stay in power, basically, and Harris. Some form of martial law. So, and the violence will escalate, hence why they've sent US troops over there now and troops are dying. So people need to just wake up. Plus, if you look at history of cycles, every 100 years we have a major war. We're actually due a World War III, unfortunately. And I think people just need to smell the coffee. I mean, if you've got rose-tinted glasses on and you think the world's going to be all right and property's going to get back up and we're going to ride through this recession, I mean, it's crazy. You know, you're going to see your wealth diminish. But if you're awake and you got your head out the sand and you're able to, you know, listen to experts like Mike Maloney and Mark Faber and Jim Rogers and you know, myself, then you know you're going to do very well. You'll see a light at the end of the tunnel, and you'll benefit. Because remember, in recessions, millionaires are made. You know, and it's a chance of being a winner and not a loser. Yeah, so that's one of our views, and that's about being educated and so forth.
Brent, sorry, 1 second.
So, good morning, and there's a comment on the screen.
Okay. Just says, can you ask if there's pros or cons to buying digital gold over physical?
Yeah, massive. I mean, we're not advocates of digital gold. I mean, look, prime example is that we just had the biggest power cut in South London I think last week, where the whole of Croydon, whole of Bromley went down, including our offices. And that's a prime example of when, you know, you have these type of situations, you can't turn on anything, you know. So one client said to me years ago, he said, you know, great, I'm a multi-millionaire in Bitcoin, but he said, when the lights go off, I'm worth nothing. And we're in a world where they can switch it off. Remember holding physical gold, you can't turn it off. It's always there. And that's the kind of magic of it. Also, when you're buying digital gold, who owns it? Is it back to somewhere physical? Do you know if that company has it? it is very, very risky. We're looking at the lower risk end where, as I say, you have the gold in the palm of your hand. Not only did we have a blackout, but a couple months ago, was it a month ago, we had a big cyber attack, the biggest cyber attack in world history, where the UK, I'm sure we all remember, the banks went down, the ATMs went down, the NHS, you couldn't order a prescription, a lot of people got sick, you couldn't order your bloods, you couldn't book a flight. I mean, everything went down. And again, that would be the same with you holding digital gold. You know, you'll be part of that. So it's important to look at holding the physical, which is much lower risk than being part of a digital system. I mean, it goes against the ethos of owning gold. I mean, gold's written about 17 times in the Bible. And they don't talk about holding it digitally. They talk about you physically having it. You know, it's true wealth.
But if God came again, would he not talk about Bitcoin? And not gold.
Bitcoin, yeah. I mean, look, it's the same question I'm sure listeners will ask. And my opinion on Bitcoin is very new. It's in its early stages. I mean, what are we, 15 years in, 2009 or so? And we don't know who set it up, whether it was aliens or CIA.
Or Brent.
Yeah, exactly. Could be. We don't know. So anyone could pull the plug at any one time. We've also got, the scary part is a lot of the institutions are taking over it and buying up a lot of it, which means they might inflate the price and then all get out, and then in the left you hang it holding the bag, and we can see it absolutely, plummet. So if you're willing to risk your money and you want to take a punt, I'm not here to punt your money. I feel people work very hard for their cash. Yeah. And Bitcoin could halve tomorrow. We don't know. And who knows, it might then shoot up to 100,000. But do you want to get grey hairs overnight? Or have your missus say, look, what's happened to our Bitcoin position? Go and sleep downstairs tonight. You're not sleeping in the bed. And that's what the headache that Bitcoin causes with our clients. They don't have those type of grey hairs. They sleep safely knowing that their wealth is protected.
Good morning, Black Rob.
Morning, guys.
Morning.
Morning, Clive. I've got a question. I know you mentioned a couple of times that we're returning back to a gold standard. Were you saying that were you being literal? Because isn't a gold standard where your money's pegged against the dollar, where the dollar is pegged against the gold? But I don't believe the dollar is pegged against gold anymore. I don't think it's returning back to that. So what did you mean by that? Just to elaborate a little bit.
So first of all, I think the world is going to be very much focused on using the new BRICS currency, because once everybody joins BRICS, we've got like 30 countries interested, another 100 countries want to join, and this will be the largest coalition in the history of mankind, the largest alliance or breakaway of countries the world has ever seen, and they're forming a new currency, which some say is pegged up to 40% to precious metals. You've got to realize that we have to go back to some form of gold standard, because printing, having this fiat economy, which is known as the Keynesian economics, not Austrian. Keynesian never works. It's just print. And what that does is it causes booms and busts. So if you look pre-1971, when we had an Austrian type economics, we had an organic growth across all industries, where at the moment where you printing for fun, you just have booms and busts. So many know that we can't continue this way because, again, the dollar's only got 1% leg to stand on. So it's going to blow up soon. And people forget that, currencies have gone to zero before. In 1920, after we run the world from 1820 to 1920, the Commonwealth, the pound went to zero. I don't think that's not going to happen again. So we have to go back to some form of gold standard. Now, the exciting part is, some say for the US, I just spoke to my analyst, Matthew Jones, who writes for The Telegraph, and he writes for AOL Finance and Yahoo News. And I play a part as well with my knowledge. I'm proud to say I'm in the major publications now. But Matthew said to me this morning, before he writes his next publication, and he was saying about how, it is going to be a massive powerhouse. With this new type of system coming into play and with the countries joining. And for me, the interesting part is, particularly being someone of colour, is this is the first time that the East has run the world. I mean, if you go back in world history, and which I study in great interest, but from 1400s, the world is always run by the Dutch, Portuguese, French, Spanish. It's always been traditionally the White West. Now it's sort of, Asia and South America and, the East, which is unseen in the history of mankind. And they love gold and they're all buying gold. So, clearly you can see that we're going to go back to a gold system. Now, the way it works is that the problem is that if you were to peg 1 ounce to say $1, it's impossible because there's not enough gold on Earth. May I remind people, gold is from the solar system. That's why it's so magic. It's not from this planet. That's why we're going to run out in the next year or so. I'm getting a bit sidetracked here. So with pre-1971, we had a gold-backed system where each currency which was produced would have been backed by gold. Now, because we printed so much money out there, okay, I mean, we've printed more money in the last 10 years than we've had in the last, say, maybe 200 years. You can't have a one-for-one because there's too much money and not enough gold. So what they'll do is a partial peg, which will be like a quarter of an ounce or a gram to $1 or £1 or 1 CDBC. They're talking about the new currency coming out is going to be pegged to gold. And that's the way to now create a true transparent system. Now, someone like Russia and China, you've got to say, well, they're buying up all the gold in the world for the last 10 years. What do you think the price is going to do? Now, China, especially Russians, don't forget they're the kings of chess. These guys are strategic masters. They're about 10 steps ahead. So is China. And they're buying up all the gold. Now, some analysts say, and these are some of the biggest brains out there that I follow and have made me a lot of money off their advice. Oh, I fixed my back. I done squats yesterday. Some say what China wants to do is they do not want war with the US, right? With the West. What they would rather do is covertly disable the West, okay? And the best way to do that is to buy up all the gold in the world. This is why they took over Africa 10, 20 years ago while we were printing money. Is you buy up all the gold in the world, then you set gold to astronomical levels. Then you pull the plug or the rug from under the West, and then you and your nation becomes the richest and most powerful. And that's why we need to follow what they're doing.
Yeah.
So Clive, sorry, quick one. I don't want to get like conspiratorial, but like my economics is probably not as good as yours. But given that if we do move to the gold standard, isn't there interest? Like I believe earlier they were talking about how UK is in 22 billion pounds worth of debt to, I don't know if it's the World Bank or IMF or whoever. So if there's a system in place, that means that there's infinite amounts of debt being incurred to like a private bank in the middle of who knows where, that's owned by who knows who. One day feel that, isn't that going to be one day those people that are running that whole World Bank, lending all the different countries, IMF system, isn't this new gold standard a threat to what they're doing already? And won't they?
Yeah, of course it is. That's why Zimbabwe, when they said they want to launch the Zig coin, be one of the first African nations, that IMF said, well, we're going to cut your funding. Don't you dare go and do that. I mean, it's a joke. I mean, the IMF have got Jamaica, which I love dearly and go to a lot and do a lot of business there. They've got us underneath their... What's the word? We've got this, like they're standing on our heads, and we keep going more and more debt, and we're begging for more and more money in the hope, But they say, look, we'll give you the money, but you better push this vaccine stuff. You better push CDBDCs. Great, we'll build you a few super towers, and give you the money to develop the country, but you better do what we're saying, which is madness. The guy backs up. He's a fan of Israel, and their stuff. And so let me give you a very interesting fact, because you mentioned the good points, brother, about debt and stuff. And this is what I spoke to Matthew Jones about, and feel free to Google him. Matthew said that with the US debt, it's over 100, I don't even know the numbers, 100 billion, 100 trillion.
Trillion.
He's told me a number this morning, to be honest, I can't remember. But with the amount of debt that they have, if and when they go back to a gold standard, they literally can wipe out that debt, but they have to revalue gold. And they'd have to revalue it to over like 130,000 an ounce.
Wow.
Okay. I believe something like that's about to happen.
Wow.
Okay. And I'm not saying that's like 20,000 times your money or whatever, but
exactly.
Something like that is about to happen.
But we say about to though.
Because
Are
look,
we
if
talking
you
about
look at
50
China,
years from now?
have a look at what China's doing. Because don't forget, it's not 50 years from now. I was on the show last time. It's jumped 10% in the last month. You know, we're at.
But where does that leave the IMF and the World Bank? They're not going to walk away. They're not just going to let this go. Like, it's not going to be all right, we've had our time. All right, let's go. Do you know what I mean?
No, they look. If you look at the Bank of International Settlements, I let people into the biggest secret of them all, right? And I usually do this on a one-to-one with clients. Go online, type in Bank of International Settlements, which is all part of the IMF and the World Bank. They're all this kind of same group, and type in flower chart. Okay. Now, they've made this clear years ago that the new financial system coming into play is going to be underpegged by precious coins, which is exactly what I sell, funnily enough. And it's called the BIS flower chart. So if you type in BIS, you should be able to see it. And that shows you this is the own Bank of International Settlements, which is your goddaddy of all banks. And there it is there. So there's one you'll see. If you scroll down, you'll see one. It would indicate gold is it's going to be the backbone of all future money. It's kind of like whether they like it or not. You know, we're kind of moving to that system because remember the BIS and the IMF and the World Bank, they're all part of the West. Remember, this new system's coming in, so it's not whether they like it or they're going to make it happen. Russia, Brazil, they're so powerful. They will make it happen. Now, let me make it clear that these guys are so clever that they've cornered the world market already. So they control agriculture through Brazil and China being some of the world's biggest producers of food. They control technology through China and developing nations. They control commodities. They just took on the Saudis. Now they control oil. They've got Peru, all the silver in the world. They've got South Africa, all the gold. Do you see what's happening here? So it's not like, will they let it happen? This is already, these guys have made the bricks up from 10 years ago. You know, while the West has been concentrating on printing money and, you know, COVID and stuff, these guys are being strategic and set this up. So it's either you get left behind or you follow what they're doing.
So what would you say, though, in response to the fact that China owns most of the US's debt?
Yeah, well, they're dumping it, and they haven't got a lot left. They've been literally dumping it left, right, and centre. And you know, the US are not happy about that, but no one wants to hold the debt. That's what a lot of countries are doing. Remember, the reason why the BRICS is going to boom, you've got to realise that the world has been a slave, including the UK, to the dollar for forever. For the last 100 years. For once, African countries, Asian countries, third worlds, there's a beacon of light. You know, and obviously they're gonna gravitate to that light, and that's what we're seeing.
And it's funny you mention that because obviously I think you even mentioned this last time. It was around, I think it was maybe just before you came, when the Saudis basically said they're no longer selling the oil in dollars anymore. So they moved away from that. So, but what would you say to somebody who says, well, gold is kind of just like another currency, though?
It is. I mean, my job, really, because a lot of people are like, oh, I don't know if I want to buy gold or I want to spend my money on gold and stuff. I explain to people, I'm like a bureau de change. I'm not actually selling you gold. All I'm doing is I'm converting your fake fiat and I'm converting it into real money. That's why I've got the easiest job in the world. I'm not even I don't even need to sell gold. All I'm doing is I'm transferring your fake fiat money and we're now going to convert it into real money.
But I think this is where the issue is for some people, because if it is that you're converting my fiat money, my fake fiat money, into real gold, when it comes the time for me to realize what happened.
Specify what is fake fiat is, please.
So
it's the currency that everybody's using.
Yeah, exactly.
So Latin term for fiat is money in circulation with no intrinsic value by force.
There you go. So basically, everyone's got uses fiat on a day to day. Your real physical pound and whatnot, right?
Fiat,
yeah. So I think this is where the difficulty comes for some people. If it is that I'm giving you my fiat, right, and you're giving me gold, and you're telling me this is real money, and keep it under your bed, keep it safe, whatever it may be, right? Insurance policies, as an insurance, whatever, and also investment. When it comes to realize the increased value of the gold, and I sell it, what am I getting back? Am I not getting
a good
fiat?
question.
More fake fiat?
It's a good question. So, and I've got a crystal ball,
Cool.
but it's a bit cloudy.
Cool.
Right, I'm like Mystic Clive, So, I mean, if you know my work over the years, most things I say I get right.
Cool.
And it's only because you know, as I say, we study the past, and it allows us to see all these patterns, you know, happening again. I don't know whether by the time you get out of gold, whether we're going to be in a digital currency or what type of currency it is, or exactly what's going to happen. What I can tell you with gold is we can't predict the future, but we can prepare for it by buying gold.
Cool.
And what you're going to see, and this is again advice to the people watching, but let me give my details actually, because I know people probably want to call up and buy. If you speak to my assistant, and we'll run this across screen, it's Solomon Global. If you do want advice on gold, and the number is 0800 368 9145.
Hold up. Let me just change the number on the screen right now. 368
9145. I think that other number works as well. That's probably off the website, isn't it?
Yeah,
I think that works as well. But just start to speak to Wes, my assistant. He's taking calls as we speak. And it's Solomon Global if you need some gold advice. First 3 listeners today, we're giving away free silver.
Oh, nice.
That make a purchase. So make sure you call us. And we are giving a discount to all the BN Black.
TNB.
The newbie people, listeners in.
TMB.
TMB. Sorry, God, that didn't come out, did it?
That's all right.
Guys, I'm going to jump off, but thanks, Clive.
Yeah, thank
You're
you.
welcome, brother. Great question. So what was you saying before I gave out the details?
How do I realise the
realise the gains. All right, so what I was going to say to the listeners is follow Mike Maloney, the Wealth Cycle.
Cool.
This is what a lot of, say, Jewish families follow by.
Okay.
Because what you'll find is that property is probably going to collapse, you know, because... You know, for a million reasons, even though your property experts will always think with their heart and not their head and tell you, oh, it's all right, I've been through a recession before, it's going to go back up. But property's never been this overly... it's never had such an increase in prices ever before in history. So it's a little bit like an elastic band, basic physics. The more you pull on it, the more violent the pullback. So there's a video called The Wealth Cycle. It's on YouTube. It's so powerful, YouTube banned it when it first came out, and then Mike Maloney advocated to put it back again. And what it talks about is that as gold rises, property drops. So what you want to do over the next few years is a lot of our clients could become property gurus, or you know, it could be big portfolios. Because what you want to do is hold gold for the next 3, 4, 5 years. You know, I don't know how high it's going to go, maybe 10, 20-fold like it did in the 70s, maybe more, which many people say. And then once the property markets collapse, you then jump into property with your gold, and then you buy property. So that's what a lot of people do. So I'll give an example. I've got a Jewish conglomerate that I work with. They've got 42,000 flats, homes, units, buy-to-lets, commercial land. I mean, these guys are big. I work with the son. The dad's always on a helicopter somewhere, or in Monaco. I think I've met him once. And they called me up, and this was a year ago, and they said, Clive, we're selling all our properties, we're out.
Yeah.
And I was like, all right, I guess the crash is coming. Yeah, the crash is coming. And they sold all their stuff. And I spoke to the son the other day, and he's got like a couple of hundred, I think less than 200 units left, which he can't sell because it's not, no one's buying, the market's flat. Now, what he does is he buys gold through me, and I'm sure other people.
Yeah.
And they'll make 3, 4, 5, 10, 20 times their money in gold during this run. Okay. And then they'll go back into the property market, you know, 5, 6, 7 years when it's depressed.
Yep.
And they won't buy back 42,000 units. They'll buy back 150,000 units for the exact same money.
Yeah.
And that's all they do.
Okay.
Now, let's not forget, in 2008, the great financial crash, gold went up 3-fold.
Yeah.
Yeah. From 2000, it actually went up 6.5-fold from the dot-com boom crash.
Yeah.
So they made a lot of money in the last crashes, and we think that's gonna. They obviously know it's gonna do that and much more this time. So that's called the Wealth Cycle. If anyone thinks property is gonna go up from there, just watch that and do your study, and then you realize, you know, it's over.
Okay, so essentially, this is just a good way for people to, whenever there's depressions and in certain things, and the markets kind of collapse to go down, instead of having your money in an asset that's going to go down, or having your money in the bank where you get no interest, quickly put it into gold, keep your value. When you want to get into, when it's time where the market picks up in certain things, then sell, get back
get
into
your
that,
chips in.
basically.
Yeah, get your chips in. Yeah,
Okay,
exactly. I mean, you want to just keep buying all the way up to 3, 4, 5,000 an ounce, and then we can revalue.
Okay.
But you just want to fill your boots while it's this cheap, because even though it's rallied significantly, the fact is gold has never ever been this cheap before in history relative to global debt. This is the cheapest gold has ever been. So it's a bargain. It should be 5,000 an ounce today. So it's like sell season. But what people don't realize is gold's like a runaway train. You know, once it goes, it doesn't sort of come back again.
Yeah.
I mean, we've all been at King's Cross and missed the 2 train and see it, you know, ride off into the sunset. Well, it never stops, does it? And say, oh, hold on, that whistle blows and it's kind of reverse and you can get back on. It's just gone. And we're going to see that again.
I want to ask. I want to ask a question.
actually.
Yeah. But I want to read this question out to you. So this person saying they're a little bit behind, but was going to ask you if having gold as jewelry is still good to keep, or would you recommend that they melted that down, basically,
and get some of the good stuff.
Yeah.
Buying jewelry as an investment is not wise because one, it's not pure gold. Two, it's sometimes twice the price. I mean, you'll find that when I do these shows, I'll get a lot of sisters that call me up and women in general, and they're like, I want to buy gold, and they're convicted. They want to support their family and, you know, make a lot of money out of this current crash. And the brothers, some of the brothers would be like, oh, I know all about gold. I bought like chops back in the day. Man had like a sovereign and that in it. So like, I know in it. So then they'll go down Hatton Gardens after hearing my advice and go and buy big chops and pay twice the price, you know, which isn't even legal tender.
Yeah.
So yeah, jewelry's fine. I mean, hold it. It will probably increase in value, but it's not the wisest way.
Not the best way.
Because what we do is, particularly with coins, they're legal tender.
Okay.
So our coins, it actually states legal tender. You can spend that in the shop.
Okay.
Now, whether you do that, and she, you know, the cashier is going to be standing there scratching her head while she calls the manager, is another story. But legally, you can spend it, whereas jewelry, you can't spend it.
Okay.
Question he's asked is, should he melt it down?
Yeah, or is it still good to keep?
I'd say just keep it for now. Melt it down for its... Is that Asian jewelry? I mean, Asian jewelry, if we look at Indian gold, has a yellow hue to it. Not very, very really favoured in the European Western markets, but it is beautiful. It actually looks a little bit fake. It's so yellow, and it's only because of the refinery process. But no, we specialise in 24 karat pure gold, 4 9s, traditional gold.
Okay, cool. I feel like I've kind of asked a similar question to this, yeah. But what would you say to somebody who's saying, okay, cool, gold is a good hedge, it's a good investment, good insurance, but it's not a productive asset. It doesn't produce anything.
Yeah, that's
so
right.
instead of me giving you 10K, right, let's just say I had 100K. Instead of me giving you 100K, let me buy land. At least I can produce crops. I can sell the crops.
Yeah.
And I can still have my land.
Yeah.
So I've still got the monthly income.
Yeah.
Plus I've got the asset that will increase in value. With gold, it doesn't do that.
Well, first of all, with land, if you're able to produce food, that's just as important as gold. I'm a massive advocate of that.
Okay.
Because food and water is going to be one of the biggest commodity. Prices are going to keep rising. It's plus they're doing this movement of pushing us into eating insect food and was it fake burgers, which tend to have more chemicals in it than your normal burger. So food for me is a very important subject, and owning land that's arable, you know, can produce is magic. So if you could have a balance of both of them, I'd certainly advise it. With gold, you can turn it into an income play, particularly if you've got something sensible like 100K. And what I mean by that is, like, you could buy, let's just say you had 100K, you split that across 40, 50 coins or whatever. Then as the market goes up, every month you could sell a coin, and that could produce an income for you, which is what some clients do.
Okay.
And done very well out of doing that. I mean, we were selling coins as low as 1,600 quid. I mean, they're $3,000 today.
Yeah.
So, you know, there's a lot of clients put that strategy in, and it works.
Okay.
I mean, what the conspiracy theorists are, thanks, turn that on. What the conspiracy theorists will tell you is that gold is a relic. It just sits there. You know, people that are not in the know or don't know what they're talking about, it just sits there, it does nothing. My uncle was like one of them. It's so frustrating talking to him sometimes, but since it's gone through the roof, he's changing his tune. But don't listen to that. You know, it is the number one tool to protect your future wealth.
Okay. So somebody's just come in, because obviously, you know, there's going to be certain people just kind of just tuning in and stuff, right? So number one, how can they go about buying the gold?
Yeah.
And number two, how do I basically, how do I put this? How do I benefit from this? So, for example, if you could just give one example of me coming to you, buying the gold, and you advising me on how potentially in 10 years, a basic strategy could be for me to benefit from this gold.
So first of all, I wouldn't say hold it for 10 years. I'll be retired by then. I'm 45. I'll be out of the game by probably 50, 51 too. Because gold's only going to go up 5, 6, several years, maybe longer, but nothing goes up in a straight line. Let's not be fools.
Exactly.
So I'm just on a mission to get as much into gold as possible, particularly in our community. And I'm trying to understand the question. I mean, it's just a case of, buying as much as you can. I mean, kind of see it as like the soil is moist. You know, we talked about farming. Yeah. And you just want to plant as many seeds now while you can. And I promise we'll have a good harvest. Okay.
So obviously people just need to call you up.
Yeah, just call me up. I'll go through exactly on what it... we need to talk about your personal situation. We don't just say, give me your money, what's your card, and buy you gold. That's not what we win awards for. So we'll sit down with you and we'll assess your current situation, your hard assets, paper assets. We can't give you advice outside of gold, but we can have a look and maybe give you some information based on your current assets. And maybe see if there's any holes in the bucket. Most people have holes in the buckets they don't even know about. Do you remember we talked about, like, at the end of every month, you're like, where's all my money gone? Well, that's because you got holes in your bucket.
So do you also have links to, can you put certain people onto accountants as well and all that sort of stuff?
No, we're just a retail consultant. But I have helped brothers and sisters, because we're all about networking and spreading the wealth. So I'm part of, like, the Black Economics group and, the...
Facebook?
No, they're a group on WhatsApp, and then obviously I'm doing the Black British Parent this weekend, and I'm part of groups that launch products as well. So if a client comes to me and they're doing their own project, I try and help them as well and introduce them to my network. It's all about spreading the love. But traditionally, I'm here to just advise on gold.
I think this might be the last question I've got. You mentioned before about getting free silver, yeah? So do you not sell silver as well?
Yeah, we do, but it's not tax-free.
Okay.
So you have to pay VAT on top, 20% in this country. A lot of people don't know it. They see it online and they see the videos and the TikToks and they're like, I want silver, but that's from the US. They get it tax-free. So for me, as your advisor, to buy something can be down 20% straight away. You know, that's kind of a punch in the lip. And nobody likes a punch in the lip. So try and look at the tax-free stuff and keep you off the radar.
Okay, cool. Is there anything else you want to add?
Question on the screen.
Oh, is it? Okay, cool. Can physical gold also be used as collateral to secure loans to enter the property market?
It's funny, yeah, really good question. So we've had loads of estate agents recently saying they'll accept gold to buy property.
Oh, wow.
We've seen it's more popular. We've had clients say, my builders for my extension want gold coins. And it's just becoming more and more popular. Yeah, because people realise there's no point paying them in cash because your cash might drop 5%, by the next week. Whereas with gold, it's just going up at the moment. So you'll find as we move into the gold standard, because it's not a case of one of the brothers said, I'm not sure if we're going back to a gold standard. Look, guys, it's not a case of if, it's theirs. It's a case of when. It's just about being prepared. And once we go back to a gold standard, remember this stuff's from the solar system. It's finite. We don't hardly find any massive finds anymore. Gold's going to become unobtainable before it becomes unaffordable. Which means you just won't be able to buy it. And that's when the prices are going to moon. Watch, I'll be here next year. And I say, remember I told you gold last year? And you see this shop, no one's selling it because you can't get it.
Can you explain the solar system thing again?
Which one?
How gold is
comes from the solar system.
Yeah, so I want you man to explain that.
Oh, me?
Yes, Mr. Science.
Why? Well, but basically it comes from asteroids, isn't it? So all the elements of the universe that you see are basically exist in the solar system in different ways. Stars, exploding stars, asteroids, things of that nature. So a lot of these things would have at certain times hit the Earth.
Yeah.
What happened? Why are you laughing?
Go on.
Yeah, so basically that's the presence of it. So unless there's another one coming, and that, you know what I'm saying, where you're going to get more gold. So the gold that's already on the planet is essentially here already. Yeah. Just need to be mined for whatever it may be.
Yeah.
But that's basically what you're saying.
So like an asteroid hit Earth and then gold just sprinkled out?
No, Can I elaborate?
Yeah,
on
yeah,
I
what
would
that
like,
brother-
I would love
yeah.
you
Why
to.
do you hit him up like that? Is he like educated in?
Yeah, he's
certain
well read
fields?
across every single discipline.
Every single discipline.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
All right.
He's you when you're not here.
All right, fair,
Yeah.
all right, fair enough. So basically, yeah, as brother rightly pointed out, it's from an imploding star, and when it implodes, it creates a supernova and then breaks up into asteroids and meteorites, which then hit Earth. We don't have asteroids, meteorites that hit Earth anymore. We did many moons ago. So if you look in the US, certain states, you'll see these massive craters,
Yeah.
you know, the size of 100,000 football pitches. Again, if that was to hit Earth today, then obviously would all be done. So they break up by the time they come through the atmosphere. Now, I was reading a book last night, which, you know, sometimes I read gold books and I always pick up something new, or just to remember how important and magic gold is. What you rightly stated is gold has been around before the universe was even put together. You know, it's like to own gold and to hold it is like owning infinity, because it's.
I understand what you mean, but
Yeah.
Brent wants you to elaborate.
Sorry, explain what he means without elaborating.
No, if I elaborate, obviously it'll correct, but I know what he means.
Yeah. Please correct me.
All right.
So it's just been around
Since the beginning of time, basically.
Since the beginning of time.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So
yeah.
it wouldn't be before the universe, literally. You know what I'm saying? Because obviously there was a big bang and everything comes from that big
Yeah,
bang.
okay,
Then you
thank
have
you.
your universe.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Since the beginning of time. Yeah, thank you, before the universe. He's mean, isn't it, sometimes? Always tries to get us.
No, it's only because I don't want to be told afterwards, can you cut that out?
Yeah,
Because
that's fine.
that's not aligned to Solomon Global.
Yeah,
Okay.
so basically it's been around since before we were here,
Yeah,
before our Earth was put together. And it's just magic, you know. It's the way it vibrates, the abilities that it has. I mean, the Egyptians said it used to be the tears of the god. You know, they see it as godlike, and only the sort of emperors and so forth could only own gold in Egypt. It wasn't for, even though you could find it on the street, and there's an abundance of it. So, and that's why, you know, to this day they bury themselves with it. And Tutankhamun, you look at it and she's still shining.
Yep.
That's how magic this stuff is. It's inert.
Yeah.
You know, inert. And just like, you know, we find it at the bottom of the Titanic, still shining just as bright. It is pretty magic.
Yeah, true.
I mean, remember, all of us as Africans, we had all of it round our necks. Look at Mr. T. Right, probably not real, but people forget, like, us as our background, you know. And I always wind up the missus, I say the first man was found in Jamaica, actually. She loves that one. But no, we all know where we came from. And we were surrounded by gold. It was touching our skin, you know, which is magic. It does so much for us, and we've been deprogrammed against it, which is madness.
Yeah.
One brother said to me, I work with DJ Chance from Conscious FM, DJ, and we do shows together. And he put his gold in his pocket one time, and he was walking down the high street. And he said he was walking down, and the vibrations, he said, that he felt, and he said all of a sudden he felt like Moses, because the crowd started to part as he was walking down the road. I swear to God, yeah, it was magical. He said it just felt like people just gravitating away from him as he strolled through, knowing that his wealth is in the palm of the pocket and no one doesn't know about it. And it was quite a magical experience for him. People just don't know.
Wow.
If you've got no gold in your life, you know, you really need to be concerned.
Okay. All right. Again, appreciate you coming, man.
No, thank you for having me.
Is there anything else you want to add?
No, I mean, just look, as Mike Maloney says, to buy gold now is a gift from God.
Yeah.
You know, just fill your boots, and you could possibly make more money than you ever have. You
So,
know.
sorry, that just reminded me actually. So you wouldn't say that right now, because there has been an influx in people buying gold.
Oh,
right,
massively.
already. Exactly. So would you say it's overvalued though at the moment?
Oh, that's what I'm saying. It's the cheapest it's ever been in history.
Still?
Yeah.
Okay.
At today's price.
The only reason why I'm saying it is because some people might say, okay, cool. It might be a bit overvalued, so let me wait 6 months.
Yeah, I know. Those
You
are
know
just
what I mean?
procrastinators.
Okay, cool.
I mean, what you got to realize, the gold never peaks. It's not like a share or, you know, it's doing standard charting where something would have a significant rally, then the sellers come in, then she has a massive pullback, turns into a bear.
Yeah.
It's nothing like that. This is a bull run.
Okay.
You got to imagine that gold, this is 25 years in the making. It's just broken through. So if you imagine a bull that's in, like, you know, somewhere in the forest somewhere that's starving, you know, haven't eaten in a while. She's going to be angry and, you know, hungry.
Yep.
And we just released the ball after a 25-year cup and handle type situation. So she's about to go absolutely parabolic. And it's going to create somewhat of a slingshot because we've had a slight pullback in the price recently.
Okay.
And then from there, boom, she's just going to slingshot. So it's important to sort of jump on the train now before we get to the next station.
Cool. All right, man. Once again, man, appreciate you coming.
Yeah, cool. It's
Thank
nice
you
to cover some other subjects. I'm glad we're able to cover that one about the Harrods situation and inform the people, make sure everybody protects their kids.
Keep safe out there.
And thank you so much for having me. For the listeners that did purchase gold last time, well done. You're in the money already. And for anybody that does want to purchase, reach out, mention the New Black, and we'll be more than happy to assist you. And as I said, we're giving away some free silver. I think we've had 1 or 2 calls that have come in so far.
Oh, nice.
So, yeah, so we'll be giving away some silver to those brothers or sisters. So I don't know if there's 1 or 2 spaces left, but make your calls as soon as possible.
All right, man. Appreciate that.
You're welcome. Thanks for having me.
No problem. All right, Brent, let's go.
Asking for a fit check.
What do you mean?
They wanted to know where his threads were, what he was wearing.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
And I don't even wear a suit usually. It's only because I had a meeting last time.
Ah, okay.
I hate suits.
Your scarf is too wavy, man.
Too wavy. Oh,
It's clean. It's clean.
Problem is they only last so long, innit? Then they start getting lumpy. Lumpy. All right, I've got to go all the way to Bromley.
All right. Have a good one, man.
See a man about a dog.
Yeah.
All right, people. Trigger warning on this last headline. Stacey Smith waited outside her manager's home before attempting to murder her in what the Greater Manchester Police described as an unprovoked and frenzied hammer attack. She was said to be filled with rage after a prolonged row over work shift patterns. Smith was said to have arrived at a manager's home in Tameside at 5:30 on the 11th of November last year when she knew that she would be getting ready for work. When she did leave, Smith repeatedly hit her over the head with a hammer and screamed that she was going to kill her. The victim sustained serious head injuries and a broken wrist, trying to defend herself. Residents came out after the attack to help the victim, administering first aid and covering the hammer with a plastic bag. After the attempted murder, Smith messaged a friend saying, "I've done it. I've smashed her head in. Oopsie, XX," as in kiss. She added that she would go on the run to Liverpool. What are we doing there? What? From Manchester to Liverpool.
On the run, you know.
Instead, she handed herself in and was arrested on suspicion of attempted murder. Smith was then sentenced to 20 years, in prison, and a further 5 years on license. So this woman got 20 years, rightfully so, I guess, for smashing her manager's head in. But the guy yesterday, who's creating images of real kids, is getting 18 years.
Talk to me.
I think it's terrible, man.
Who should get more?
Maybe this is my bias here, but the pedo, man. They get me.
And she killed the other person?
No. Attempted murder. Murder.
So she's just in hospital?
Yeah. She probably recovered now, innit? It was last year in November.
So smashed her head in?
Yeah, with a hammer. Yeah, she survived. She's cool and everything. Rightfully so. You need to be doing that. You know what I mean? A long thingy, innit? But, move back.
All right.
Okay, all right, take it. But in terms of the something just don't sit right, man. 18 years creating images and then telling. Remember, this animal yesterday was encouraging his clients to then go and grape and what's the other one? Essay the victims that he's basically made 3D AI images of. It's crazy.
Did you see the video of him in the police station talking about how disgusting his mind is and blah, blah, blah?
No, I've not seen that, man.
Yeah.
That's insane. All right, so our next headline takes us to Nigeria. But before we get there, President Biden of the United States said yesterday that he's basically long story short, he conveyed his gratitude to the Nigerian president, Bola Tinubu. Why? For the release of the Binance executive, Tigran Gambaryan. So the US president basically also assured him that the US was keen on securing permanent status for Nigeria on the United Nations Security Council. So this particular man, the Binance executive, left Nigeria with 8 months of lawful detention. And yeah, man, he was a senior Binance executive. He was detained in Nigeria in early 2024 during a crackdown on cryptocurrency activity by the government. We mentioned this a couple times in the People's Journal. And yeah, now Tinubu got involved, freed him up, and Biden is now making promises to the Nigerian government. The Economic and Financial Crimes Commission filed money laundering charges against him, which Binance and Gambaryan has denied. However, his extended detention drew international attention as his health reportedly deteriorated while he was held in prison. US diplomats and lawmakers pushed for his release, emphasizing his decline in health and the need for transparent proceedings. Despite repeated bail applications, he did remain in custody for nearly 8 months, raising diplomatic tensions between the US and Nigeria. The Binance CEO, Richard Teng, expressed relief, highlighting Binance's commitment to regulatory cooperation in Nigeria. And responding to Biden, President Tinubu thanked him and the US for the partnership and the collaboration in numerous sectors, emphasizing greater cooperation regarding security in West Africa. Biden also affirmed that this partnership would continue as the future of the world resides in Africa, which is why this partnership needs to continue. I'm not even trying to be too shady right now. I'm going to be a bit shady, but not too shady. For those that don't listen to black people and say Africa's the future, a white man is telling you here, President Biden of America is telling you the future of the world resides in Africa, which is why this partnership needs to continue. You hear that? They're partnering with the people that need to be partnered with in Africa so that they can also participate in whatever amazing things start to grow and flourish in Africa. So I'm saying that to everybody basically in the diaspora, man. Let's think about the gold. Let's think about back home. You know what I'm saying? And our last headline, trigger warning as well. The leader of the Valencia region pretty much said that bodies have been recovered after torrential rain caused flash floods in southeastern Spain. Spain has been hit by torrential rain and hailstorms, triggering flash floods across multiple regions. 6 people are missing in Litur, which has a population of less than 1,000 in the eastern province of Albacete. I can't pronounce it. Anyway, so the number of bodies recovered was not specified. Rescue efforts are underway and continuing overnight. Footage uploaded on social media shows floodwaters causing chaos, knocking down bridges and dragging cars through the streets. Other videos appear to show people clinging to trees to avoid being swept away. Radio and TV stations have reportedly been receiving hundreds of calls for help from people trapped in flooded areas or searching for loved ones, as emergency services struggle to reach some areas. Sad news, man. But that is it for our headlines, guys. Time to pay the bills. And let's get into the reaction, Brent. All right, people. So, welcome to the reaction. There was a couple games, quite a few games, different competitions, but I'm only going to read out the Carabao Cup ones. Southampton beat Stoke City at home 3-2. Brentford beat Sheffield Wednesday on penalties. It was initially 1-1 in normal time, but then it went to penalties and Brentford pretty much beat Sheffield Wednesday 5-4. So, as I was saying, Southampton defeated Stoke 3-2 with James Breeze scoring in a late one in the 88th minute, pardon me. The Saints had led 2-0 at halftime, but obviously Stoke, like they always do, they fought back, they leveled the score. But Southampton, they came through in the end. They dominated possession and progressed to the quarterfinals. So now they're going to be facing either Man City, Man United, Leicester, or Newcastle in the quarterfinals. Next thing I wanted to mention also, Arsene Wenger, the greatest manager that the UK has, that the Premiership ever had, right? Argue with your goddamn self, people. But yes, the greatest manager ever. He's going to be leading a FIFA task force on player welfare amid concerns about the congested football calendar. So the task force basically includes representatives from FIFA's member associations, confederations, the European Club Association, and the World Leagues Association as well. And it aims to implement suitable safeguards for players' physical and mental well-being, considering operational, medical, regulatory, and legal aspects. So the head of that, right, will be Arsene Wenger. So he's going to be taking over that role. Next thing I want to mention goes to boxing. And obviously, for probably like a year now, we've been talking about a lot of big fights, a lot of new stars coming to the forefront. And a lot of them have been under Frank Warren's stable, Queensberry Promotions. So I just wanted to mention that a lot of these people have been thriving, and Frank Warren's pretty much secured long-term deals with a lot of these new boxers now. So people like Nick Ball, who I was bigging up the other day, he beat my guy, man, Ray Ford, in Riyadh season. When was this? The fight before his last one. Sick fight as well. That was the night where Frank Warren beat Eddie Hearn's team, Matchroom. I think it was like 10 points to 0. But anyway, that was a sick fight. If you guys want to see good boxing, like look at that fight, Nick Ball versus Ray Ford. But anyway, he secured a long-term deal with Nick Ball. Also Hamza Shiraz as well, who won the other day as well. Also, what's that? What happened there?
Are you asking me
I
what
thought it was
she's
you,
doing?
You know, I thought it was you.
You could see her right in front of the microphone.
No. I was looking at you, innit? I wasn't even thinking about it. Like,
Alright.
stay there. Don't make noise. All right, cool. Heavyweight sensation Moses Itauma as well, the new heavyweight guy who was trying to actually beat Mike Tyson's record, man, of being the youngest person to get a heavyweight title. I'm not too sure if he's going to beat it now. But anyway, he's got a lot of potential, man. He secured a new deal with Frank Warren, Kakache as well, Anthony Kakache, who's the IBF super featherweight champion as well. The super bantamweight champion Liam Davis as well, and undefeated lightweight champion, he's not a champion yet, Sam Noakes as well. So yeah, man, all of these guys are getting new deals. So it's looking good for boxing at the moment. And the last thing I wanted to mention, actually, you know what? Let me go to the other thing, because I didn't even know about this particular situation, but the greatest UFC guy of all time, John Jones, he was involved in something, and he's now reached a pre-adjudication agreement for 2 misdemeanor charges that were against him. Now they're going to be dismissed. And these charges relate to an incident back in March when basically John Jones was summoned to court following allegations that he verbally threatened to kill a female anti-doping officer. So the court ruled that the charges will be dropped if John Jones completes 4 hours of anger management classes and stays out of legal trouble for the next 90 days. He then appeared in court remotely via video link, where his attorney confirmed the agreement between the defense and the prosecutors. And yeah, it's all sorted out now. So John Jones posted on X yesterday, I believe, or earlier today, basically said, I would like to extend my thanks to the justice system for reaching a prompt resolution to this matter, which affirms my innocence and enables me to maintain my focus on the upcoming fight. So he's meant to be fighting what's his name? Stipe Miocic, right? At UFC 309. So this is going to be on the 16th of November. Everyone's been looking forward to that fight. John Jones is the greatest, man. The guy ain't ever going to get beat. You know what I'm saying? And, well, it depends if he stays in the game for too long. But I see him dominating Miocic like quite, let me not say easily, because he's a good fighter too. But yeah, I see him winning that. Last thing I wanted to mention takes us to America, where the Phoenix Suns defeated the Lakers 109-105. And that's basically Lakers' first loss of the NBA season, man. LeBron James had a uncharacteristically quiet game. This is what people are saying. He only had 11 points. Anthony Davis led the Lakers, and basically he scored like 29 points as well. Banchero as well, in the other game, became the first Orlando Magic player in 20 years to score 50 points in a game. And he basically led them to win against Indiana Pacers, 119-115. But that is pretty much it for the reaction, guys. Let's get into our wrap-up, Brent. All right, people. Thank you once again for tuning in. It's been an amazing day, an amazing show. Let's get through some of the things that we spoke about today. Of course, as you guys know, we have our Black History segment, and we bigged up 2 legendary figures in our community. The amazing Baron Constantine, Larry Constantine, and of course, the Queen herself, Olive Morris, as well, man, for their outstanding contributions to all things black, man, and activism. You know what I'm saying? Just making the world, especially here in the UK, better for us today. Also, in terms of the Chancellor Rachel Reeves. So, again, the budget will start, well, she'll start to speak about this new budget at 12:30 today. You can watch it on iPlayer, BBC iPlayer, or you can watch it on the BBC website. And apparently she's looking to pledge to fix the NHS and do this by basically investing. A lot of businesses are basically bracing themselves for tax rises. But again, we're going to get more details later. And tomorrow and on Friday, hopefully, we'll be able to deep dive into that and see how it's going to affect us in a real practical way. TikTok founder, Zhang Yiming, he's now become China's richest man with his $50 billion fortune. France as well, they've stepped out and said, listen, we're back in Morocco in their disputes over Western Sahara. China has declared success as well as its youngest astronauts reach space. Apparently, they met some other guys that are there in the Shenzhou 18 crew. So this is the Shenzhou 19 crew. They've met them up there, basically. And they're going to be returning, well, the Shenzhou 18 astronauts anyway, to Earth on the 4th of November. Also, we also spoke about Axel Rudakubana, who was the guy who allegedly is responsible for the deaths of those 3 young girls, man, and which sparked the whole riots in Southport. Apparently, he's had 2 further charges that relate to his case, and one of them was basically because he was in possession of a biological toxin, namely ricin, and also because he also had a handbook, right? Information that was used apparently by the Qaeda. It's called the Military Studies in the Jihad Against the Tyrants, the Qaeda training manual. So these 2 things have been added to his case as well. And we also spoke about Lil Durk being in a situation with the feds and how there's pressure being mounted upon the Chicago mayor who accepted a $150,000 campaign donation. People are saying, listen, give the money back. And he's saying, my friend, I'm not giving the money back because if I do, it kind of equates to prematurely passing judgment on a black man before a full trial has actually come to fruition. Respect to him, man. And we also spoke about the ambulance worker who was jailed for trying to kill her boss with a hammer in a crazy attack. She now gets 20 years in prison. This is all because of a row over shifts, you know. What a waste of a life. Next thing is, well, we spoke about how President Biden bigged up the Nigerian president, Bola Tinubu, for releasing the Binance executive. And again, Biden stressed what you guys should already know, which is that the future of the world, these are his words, the future of the world resides in Africa, which is why this partnership, i.e. the US partnership with Nigeria, needs to continue. And sadly, we spoke about the bodies that were recovered after flash floods in Spain. Of course, last but definitely not least, we had an amazing guest today, Clive Lindsay. You guys, we spoke about gold, all things gold, how it's an amazing hedge against inflation, how it's a good investment, how it's good insurance as well. You guys obviously seen the details on the screen. It's going to be in the description as well, on the YouTube and on the Spotify as well, about how you can get yourself some gold if you're interested. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, again, thank you so much for tuning in. And we're going to be back tomorrow with another amazing guest. Brent, should I tell them the guest tomorrow?
Yeah.
Okay, guys. In fact, I'll give you a clue so that hopefully people will actually do their research. If you go to Netflix, guys, type in White Nanny, Black Child. White Nanny, Black Child. Remember before we kind of intimated about having the director of that on the show, basically. And this particular show, it's about an hour and 10 minutes. It's about the phenomenon known as farming, basically, where a lot of children from West African backgrounds in the 70s, 80s, 90s even were farmed, right? They were put into foster care and white families basically raised them. From as young as like 2 weeks old, 1 month old, 3 months old, they went there and lived there for the first 5, 10 years even. Like a lot of these people are speaking about their trauma and how it affected them, shaped their view, especially when their parents, biological parents, came back to try and take them to Nigeria and just have their life with them and whatnot. So again, check that out if you can. We've got the director on the show tomorrow. Do not miss that. Esther will be back in the building. I'll be back in the building. Brent will be back in the building. It's going to be a good show, man. So people, tune in, man. But till tomorrow, peace.
See you later.